Welcome, everyone. This is the 9th session of Crown of Brambles. We are one away from double digits, and last session, a pretty major thing happened. That is, you got a new party member. Just in case you guys haven't already done it, everyone should have gotten a effectively government stipend of 200 gold for accepting a new party member at this juncture of your journey. It is early enough to where a new party member won't disrupt the sort of interpersonal flow of the party too much, but you know, the Road Warden Society is aware of the fact that disrupting the interpersonal meshing of a party can be problematic, and so gives it a little nudge every once in a while, this being no exception to that rule. It seemed like a good deal. You guys decided to take it, so Billy is a member of the crew as of this moment. Is there anything that anyone wants to mention that happened last session that they found was important to them or to the plot? Because now would be the time to mention it.
Moggs bit Billy's tail.
That
Only a little bit.
Very important.
Only a little bit.
Freak the fuck out.
To be fair, they did manage to effectively identify that there is a completely unknown disease in your body, without having the knowledge to know whether or not it is infectious. They kind of had a full-fledged panic in the middle of a crowded tavern. Billy attempted to assuage Moggs' fears, letting them know that it doesn't spread and I think the words used was it doesn't spread unless you want it to, which sounds a little sinister, but that being said, Moggs, you are fine. There's no condition or anything that you actually have. Just to put that out there mechanically. Is there anything else that
Billy got a new roach?
Billy got a new roach. Yep. I know, Caius, that you did learn some things about the public perception of your mother, of the Flame Mother.
Yes.
Perhaps
hey,
not.
Get it right. It's the Phoenix Mother.
The Phoenix Mother, thank you.
How dare
Get it right. Get in the comments.
Get it right. Perhaps, how does Caius feel about that at this very moment? Does Caius feel... I'm sure Caius probably doesn't feel super great.
No, of course not. Absolutely not.
There's a simultaneous acknowledgement that, the Phoenix Mother is a great warrior, but at the same time, there's also an acknowledgement of the fact that she kills defenseless people. Which is the mark of a terrible warrior or of a coward.
Correct. If there's one thing that, he likes show of power and everything, but how you use it is absolutely something that will, he views highly. Like, fuck, I can't talk right now.
I feel you.
But you get what I'm saying.
It's important to note for moving into the session for kind of like emotional beats that Caius might be experiencing here.
He also learned that his god is actually there.
That is true. I believe you were having a conversation with Lumia about it, right?
I was.
Yeah. Which is a cool revelation to have, being that Lumia is herself connected to the divine in some very tangible capacity at this point. As the proprietor is technically a member of the divine pantheon, there is, some real weight behind Lumia's observation that you have been touched by the divine. So that's good to know. That's good. I believe also that there was some... I don't think it was last session, maybe the session before that, but Harvey, you made contact with...
I was trying to remember if it was last session.
That was last session as well.
God, there's a lot of shit that happened last session.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was a big session.
You got spoken to by a guy with a really bad New York accent. Who informed you that there is some insane plot that he and his previous adventuring party were enacting that functionally he has told you they failed because he fucking died.
Yes, Yenobel Havlace.
Yeah, Yenobel Havlace. He is fully dead, but he was the... It's hard to explain this. I feel as though the person who might have the best understanding of souls and the manner in which they operate would probably be Lumia, but for your cursory understanding of the manner in which souls operate, this isn't supposed to happen. This is definitely like not not normal. You're not really supposed to be able to interact with previous reincarnations. What a soul is a soul is sort of like the vessel that holds the personality of the person. So new reincarnations tend to be similar in some ways to their previous reincarnations, but not always. There are, of course, deviations and exceptions and stuff like that. It's not like locked in place. But Unoble does strike you as honestly a very similar person in some capacity. Like he's dumb as a bag of rocks, but he's
great. You leave him alone.
He is actually somewhat wiser than you kind of anticipate. He's got some tricks up his sleeve, being that he has instilled in you Unoble's gift, allowing you to take a proficiency or to raise I believe, to take a proficiency or to raise a proficiency to expertise over a long rest. Am I remembering that right? It was something like that.
I'm trying to look through my notes. I remember desperately writing down the names.
It's fine. It's fine.
I got you. I got you.
Especially when you hit me with Nemixthia. I have the names too.
Yeah, Nemixthia, the Dragon Queen.
Yeah.
She's a well-known figure. Pretty much, I believe everyone but Moggs and Billy would probably know who Nemixthia is. But yeah, so Unoble gave you a gift functionally, which I believe you wrote down as Unoble's gift. I didn't have a name for the feature. But at the end of a long rest, you can choose a skill to either gain proficiency in or gain expertise in if you already have proficiency. And that only lasts until the next long rest, at which point you can re-up it on a different thing. This also applies to tool proficiencies, gaming set proficiencies, and vehicle proficiencies. So if ever there is a point in time in which you're like, we're going to go and cheat at a poker game, you can give yourself proficiency with cards or with dice or whatever. So just food for thought. Or if you're going to go onto a boat, you can give yourself sea vehicles proficiency so that way you can actually help, man the ship and operate it. There's a lot of different things you can do with it.
Right. Okay.
Is there anything that I'm missing here? Because I'm obviously going through a lot of things at once. Is there anything that was important for either Moggs or Lumia that occurred during the last session? Aside from Lumia sort of instilling in Caius the idea that their deity may have actually been there, and Moggs almost contracting a really dangerous unknown disease.
Oh, I think that covers it, at least for Lumia.
And then got drunk and passed out, I think.
That's true. Would you say that's the first time Moggs is drunk? Probably not, given where you're from, given your group that you were with. They probably let you drunk. They probably let you drink quite a lot.
No, that was the first time she got drunk.
Cool. That's good to know. So you're going to be a little hungover in the morning. Awesome. Yeah, so I believe, correct me if I'm mistaken, and even if I am mistaken, if you want this to be the case, we can have it be. But I believe that you guys were bedding down for the night to wake up the following morning to then go about your daily activities and do whatever it is that you wanted to do. Is that okay with everyone if we just do that?
Yeah, no, that's correct, because at the end of the night, I think it ended with all of us drinking the night.
Did anyone,
yeah, I think that's
did
what
anyone want to
Yeah.
do stuff in the morning?
Oh yeah, lots of stuff in the morning.
Oh man.
I mean, presumably it's just going to be the whole day.
Oh yeah.
What we'll go ahead and do is you guys awaken the next morning. This is a Road Warden Lodge, so you do not need to pay for your first meal, nor do you need to pay for the actual lodging itself. So you are fed in the morning. It is a wonderful meal. It's, perhaps not super fanciful, but it is a sort of like somewhat like a stew, basically like a morning breakfast stew. You've got some potatoes and some carrots and
it's rather hearty,
braised meats and stuff like that. Yeah, something to like get some calories in the gut to get you started for the day. But once you guys have had your meals, you are ready to set about for the day. So who wants to start us off? Don't be shy. Feel free to just go ahead and throw your stuff out there. We'll probably go one group at a time, so if anyone wants to tag along with anyone else, feel free to mention that as well.
I kind of want to go with everybody.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a group adventure today.
Yeah.
I think we want it to be a group adventure. I love that. Okay.
Unless somebody gets lost. Oh, God,
I love doing group adventures.
Cool. Cool. Okay. If that's the case, which of our ventures do we want to start with? Because we've got quite a few things actually on. Jinxie, by the way, thank you. This is a wonderful idea, the Notion board. We've got a lot of stuff. Got a lot of stuff on here. Some of it looks like it might be stuff that some people may want to do in private, such as potentially opening the Book of Deities. I don't know if you want to do that with the rest of the crew.
Probably not.
But there's also things like shopping.
Right there.
It seems like shopping and gathering information
You
is
say
on.
daycare?
No.
It seems like shopping and gathering information is, if not on every person's list, it is on the majority of people's lists. So how about we start with that? Just going to
Okay.
bars and asking information, stuff of that nature. Going to maybe the Road Warden's Lodge to get information about what's on the bounty board and what the situation is out there. Just stuff. So you guys direct me. Where do you want to go?
Should we go to like the bounty board and maybe look for Tyr first? Maybe hit that place first and then walk around?
Okay.
Is that her name? Tier?
Their name is Tag.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god.
No, it's fair. Their name is literally Yer.
Yer.
Y''R.
Yer.
Exactly.
Yours.
Yeah. So
Let's
you
head to
guys,
the bounty board. Yeah.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
go see what jobs
So-
are in the area.
the bounty board, there's two different bounty boards. There's an external bounty board and an internal bounty board. They have the same stuff on them. It's just one of them is meant for if it is like pissing rain outside, which it most often is, they will take the papers down from the external bounty board and put it on the internal one. As of this morning, it is still overcast, as it is almost every day in this place, but it isn't raining, it is sprinkling. I think I may have used this analogy or this example before, but if any of you guys have ever seen like Washington or maybe like London weather, where it is almost always kind of like a misty kind of rain, that's kind of what it's like here all the time. It's not unpleasant, it's just always a little wet, like more than humidity would normally imply that it should be. So if you are, walking through the streets getting from one place to another, you'll probably be fine. But if you spend an extended period of time outside in this place, you will be soaked to the bone over the course of like an hour. So it's not terrible. But you guys head to the Road Wardens Society in this.
Billy
location.
probably doesn't care about the rain.
Oh yeah, Billy, you're fine. I mean, this is something.
My
that
clothes is like tailored for like water diving sort of stuff.
I'm not.
Yeah,
Hi.
Caius, you are not to be ironic, but you are a
Grumpy.
fish out of water here. Like the rain sort of hits your skin, and it feels very not uncomfortable. You've experienced rain before, but it's normally been like a downpour of rain, a deluge, where it's like I can endure this. But this is just kind of like it's peppering you. It's a little annoying.
It's quite annoying, yes.
Yeah. But you guys make it to the Office of Road Warden Affairs. You see that because of the mist, they have taken down most of the papers on the external bounty board. But you guys step inside. You can immediately see that there is Tarly. Billy, you know Tarly as the Furbolg male who had helped you out when you first arrived here. They're currently sitting at sort of like the front desk. They wave to you guys as you come in, and then they gesture to the bounty board. Because presumably that would be why you're there. I can give you guys the quick and dirty of what is actually on the bounty board, and then you guys can tell me if you want to do anything else in the Road Warden's office. Does that sound good?
Mhm.
Yes.
Hell
Which
yeah.
one is the hardest one? The one that poses the biggest threat.
I'm going to go ahead and work backwards from the easiest to the hardest. Arguably the easiest is a quest that is literally titled Raccoon Catcher Required. The quest reads, I've run into some trouble with the law and intend to solve it with coin. Despite being warned about wildlife from the mainlands, I secretly stowed several raccoons with me to bring them here during my last voyage to Tabata. They are wild raccoons, and they chewed
my
free of the
God.
crate I hid them in to flee into the wilderness. I require the aid of a skilled tracker and trap layer to catch them, but not to harm them. There are 5 in total, and I am willing to provide partial payment in the event that you can retrieve fewer than 5. It will not be proportional to the amount that I give you if all 5 are safely retrieved. And so it
Aw.
lists here that there is a reward for each raccoon up to 4 of 25 gold. So if you retrieve 1, it's 25. If you retrieve all 4, it's 100. If you get all 5 raccoons, it is 200 gold.
Whoa.
Ooh.
And this has been listed from one Bart of Nart and Sons.
These better be
Amazing.
some like amazing raccoons.
Yeah. So there are 5
They're
raccoons in
gonna be
total.
They're gonna be kung fu raccoons.
Kung Fu raccoons, Jesus. So that is probably the easiest quest. Then technically a quest that is up here is more of just a notice that the second Swervel aid caravan will be leaving from Zalom in a couple of days' time. It is going to be similar to the way that the Henst caravan worked, where when you guys are ready to leave, the caravan will leave. This is, for lack of a better term, it's sort of like the main quest line that you can just leave there for an indefinite amount of time and then come back to it and be like, okay, now let's just continue the plot from where it left off. If, of course, you leave for a disproportionately large amount of time, they will just go without you.
Years.
I would
We
say
live here now.
I would say probably like the hard cutoff time would be maybe a week and a half, where at that point they're just gonna leave. But that's on there as well. Next, we do have a quest that states Necrobloom in Abundance. It is listed by a Mrs. Gimty Loxland, one half of the owner of Pink Health Alchemy Goods. It states, the nefarious ghost flower has been spreading madly as of late, and it's not doing so organically. This will have repercussions for the locale of Zalam for years to come if left unchecked. Please find the responsible party or parties and put a stop to the spreading of the ghost flower. You are welcome to come to our shop for clarification or further information, though very little is known about the Necrobloom. That is listed with a reward of 250 gold and 3 whole health potions, each of which are worth 50 gold.
I didn't know flowers could have ghosts.
Typically they don't. I'd like everyone, as they read that, to make a nature check just to see if any of you have ever heard of either Necrobloom or Ghost Flower.
Morning guide me.
Oh no, Mugs.
Yikes.
Yeah, so I got a 0.
Oh god! You hear the word Ghost Flower and you're like, that's silly. They're obviously messing with us. Flowers can't be ghosts.
Bell.
Yeah, I'll roll for you. What's your bonus to nature?
+4.
+4? Beow. Okay, 15's not bad. Okay, everyone's total. We got 15 from Billy. Mog's got a 0. Harvey, what'd you get?
I got a 14.
14? Okay, Caius, what'd you get?
I got a 12.
12. And Lumia, what'd you get?
11.
11? Okay, so Billy is actually the only person who passed the check. The DC was 15. Billy, you have actually, with the context from which you're from, even a 15 for you. No, I would say like you maybe have heard of the Necrobloom in passing, maybe from some scholarly sources in the time that you've been around since now, but the Ghost Flower was not a thing back in the day.
Okay.
That is what you kind of learn here. You don't learn any like detailed context, but just like Ghost Flower, that's newer. That's not a 3,000 years ago kind of thing.
Right.
So
That's
that is one thing that one quest that you guys can do. And then the last quest that is on the board is a quest that looks very official. It is written in sort of big bold text by a very skilled hand, and it says bandits running amok. And it says, I, Goner Kurtuli, steward of Zalam, hereby declare the ruffians, muggers, and bandits known as the Brambleberries in the fields and tundras surrounding Zalam marked for death or arrest. Any and all road warden or not may attempt this charge to bring justice to these bandits for the lives they have taken and the property they have stolen and destroyed. For each proof of a deceased bandit that a party can provide, the treasury of Zalam will supply them with 10 Erendipitous Mint gold pieces. For each living bandit brought in bindings to the stockade, the treasury of Zalam will supply them with 15 Erendipitous Mint gold pieces. What the city seeks is justice rather than blood, but the city will take its due regardless. There is no mention of how many bandits there are, but it does list 10 gold per dead bandit and 15 gold per living bandit.
Caius is like Caius is placing his index finger on the board, pointing at that one.
I will go ahead and copy paste all of these into the chat. So
Thank you,
that is
because I
the
would not remember.
Necrobloom. This is the bandits. It might get a little confusing. Sorry that there's no spacing when I copy and paste.
Tomato, tomato.
I was doing something and I completely forgot what I was doing.
And then there is the raccoon capture quest. The sort of quest that lists that the caravan is going doesn't have a gold reward listed. It's just a notice. But those are the 3 that you see that are on the board. You guys can obviously take a copy of each quest with you, so that way you can refer to it whenever required. And so I'll presume one of you will do so. And it's around this point in time in which you can actually see, while you guys are examining the bounty board, you do spot a pair of people stepping from one room to another. It looks like one of them is actually carrying some stacks of sort of parchments and paper that they were writing on. And it is your tag following Bert. Bert is talking to her about some mundane sort of circumstances that are happening here. But your tag does sort of cast a wayward glance towards the party as she steps by. Now would be the opportunity to talk to her if any of you wanted to do so.
Gotcha. I'm going to take that first bounty, and go up to her and be like, excuse me, what do you know more about? What all do you know about this quest? How many bandits?
You see that your tag kind of looks down to Bart, and Bart kind of looks up at her, gives her a smile, reaches out a hand to grab the documents and carries them himself. And she puts her hands behind her back and sort of like steps a little closer to you. You already had stepped close enough to her, and she closes that distance to where it is almost an uncomfortably close kind of distance between you two. And she is a little taller than you as you actually step up. She is a tall, thin woman. She looks you down and then looks you up and kind of like takes this is gonna sound weird. She is a Tabaxi. She smells you. She takes a sniff. And she
reels back a little bit. What are you doing?
She kind of sneers for a moment and she goes, I was establishing whether or not you were a warrior, my friend. You have come to Zelom seeking bloodshed or justice?
I wouldn't necessarily say I'm out just seeking bloodshed. I'm just out here to do what I can to further my own abilities.
But you smell like blood. I can almost taste it on you.
Can I do a...
She tilts her head. Yeah, do an insight check. Because, you, Caius, haven't killed a lot of people.
Exactly.
Also, Lumio, do you want to provide guidance here?
Oh, yeah, morning guide you.
Oh, God damn it.
All right, go roll guidance. This could get you above the threshold.
I'm burning an inspiration right now on this thing.
Roll guidance first. Roll guidance first.
Oh, roll guidance first.
The DC for this is low. She's not trying to hide anything.
Hang on, let me do this.
So we've got a 6 plus whatever your bonus to insight is.
The hell
Plus
is that dice?
1.
So that would be 7 plus your bonus to insight, which is how much?
Oh, man, I've got no insight, because that's what, wisdom?
Yeah, that's wisdom.
God.
Like I said, I'm burning an inspiration.
Go ahead.
You got this.
We are 20 minutes in.
Hey,
Let's
man,
go.
Many no enemies.
Oh, should we get our inspiration abilities?
Was that the same roll?
Right, a little better. It's a little better.
I think the inspiration ability thing needs to be tailored a little more before we actually start using it. So
Okay.
I'm going to say no.
It's
It's how much?
It's an 8.
It's an 8. I'm gonna cast this out to the party because the DC is supposed to be 10, but does the part? I'm assuming everyone but Caius. Just give me a yes or no whether you want Caius to be able to succeed on this insight check.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, everyone, of course. You know what? I am very grateful that you guys are either very supportive friends or very gossipy.
Bear and Bell are the only ones that haven't looked at the group chat.
Oh my god.
What are you talking about? Oh my god!
That's so fucking funny.
Oh my god. Okay.
You strike this woman as an incredibly insightful woman who is in touch with the populace of the city. That she's not just like the official who works with the town guard to make sure monsters don't, breach the city walls or whatever. She's someone who actually knows everyone in the city. It strikes you she may have been here for quite some time. Her accent strikes you as someone who is who's from Arlen Way, which is the country that is known for having a shit ton of magic users and being like the most magically powerful country. But you don't see magical implements on her person. In fact, you don't see any weapons on her person at all. At least not right now. She's wearing what is functionally a suit. And when she says you reek of blood, it is obvious that she caught wind of your questioning in the tavern last night, and that word traveled to her and she made the correct assumptions of who you are.
Oh shit.
He, snapped to that conclusion incredibly quickly upon meeting you the first time, hearing what Nart and Sons had to say, and seeing you this time. And so she kind of turns up her nose at you and she goes like, "You reek of blood."
Wait, I don't. Oh,
She's insinuating
So-
that your mother
yes, that
is
I'm
making you reek of blood.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know what you've heard about me, nor I don't really care too much. But at the same time, I can tell you right now that I don't reek of blood. Maybe a little sweat and muck because of this damp weather you guys have
Yes, you are
here.
very sweaty.
I'm
I
sorry,
don't
but
think she heard of you. I think she smelled you.
She looks down at you, Mox. She has to look all the way down. It's to the point where it stops looking fully standoffish or maybe even intimidating, and starts looking maybe a little goofy because there's just this cat head on this really tall body going looking straight down at you. And she looks back up to you, Caius, and then she goes, "I do not want any trouble in this town. Do you understand?"
yes, I do, but I'm not trying to cause trouble. If anything, I'm trying to help you with trouble. This is why I'm having the bounty here.
She raises her chin up again, and she goes, "I know your type. You are quick to anger, easy to start fights. If I catch wind of a single fight that you have started, or even one that you participate in within the city walls, I would be the first to hear about it. You understand this, yes?"
You can hear about it all you like, but if somebody picks a fight with me, I'm not backing down.
"If somebody picks a fight with you, your friends had better help you back down, because I will not stand for it.
Then what are you gonna do about the ones who have started the fight?
I will kick their asses as well."
Oh, so you're pretty powerful yourself, huh?
She does not give any indication of acknowledging your compliment, and she has already taken the paper from your hands that you were going to hand to her, and she holds it up. You hadn't noticed that she took it. She holds it up and she goes, "As far as I have seen, there are at least a dozen bandits as part of this quest. I would ask that you be careful if you are going to attempt to take them on. They have moved their base of operations to the coastline. We are not entirely certain how they have done this or what they are doing on the coastline, as we have been short-staffed." She hands the paper back to you, and she says, "I do ask, of course, that if you decide to take this quest on, that you try to keep them alive."
You know what? It sounds like you didn't have very much faith in me about not causing too many problems. So if you want them back alive, I'll bring them back alive.
She, for the first time, gives you a smile. And she says, "Oui, I believe that will be a gesture of good faith. You will have earned some amount of my trust at that point. But as of now, I have my eye on you." son of the Phoenix Mother.
Caius tenses up a little bit, and he's going to respond like, at the moment, she is no mother of mine. But I also have another question. Do you know of the one that may be traveling with her?
Her other son. Yes.
Apparently my brother, yes, so I've heard.
She kind of squints as though she had expected you to, like, have already known this, or this to have been some sort of, like... It seems like she had expected you to be a lot more like her, but you're a lot more like Caius, like the son that the father raised rather than the mother. And so she's kind of like, she narrows her eyes and a little bit of her kind of apprehension fades. You see that her shoulders stop tensing as much, and she kind of nods.
Mog's like not interjecting into the conversation, but she kind of like under her breath gasps a little bit and goes, "The Phoenix."
Your tag kind of like, I know it was under your breath. Your tag's bonus to perception is crazy high. She like raises her eyebrows and looks down at you again, Moggs, and goes like, "What are you? What is your name?"
Hi, Mog's.
"Hello, Moggs. I am your tag."
My tag?
She does not respond and looks back up to you guys.
You were saying
Fuck, this is Belle. What was she saying?
about my brother.
Oh, yes. She goes, "I am at least aware of him. His exploits on the battlefield precede him. He is known for being ferocious in combat. That is all I know."
So my mother is a senseless murderer, and my brother is almost like me in combat. Got it.
Oui. I would not call her entirely senseless. As far as I understand, she takes a big bag of coin from the Dragon Queen every once in a while. There is at least a little sense in earning coin.
Well, yeah, that same Dragon Queen has been warring on my homelands now for a while now, haven't they?
Mine too. She shares like a very brief moment of solidarity before she continues on. She goes, "Is there anything else? Anything that the rest of you would like to know? Billy, is there anything that you want to know?" Billy, you have interacted very, very sparingly with your tag, but you do know her.
Where is the church, Suwo?
She gives you the directions to it. She's like, "I do
Let
not
me
attend
go there.
myself, so the directions might not be entirely perfect. Sometimes we have to remake the bridges and staircases in this place. They tend to fall into disrepair over time.
Do we need to be careful?
Maybe a little bit, but if you fall, you're just going to get dirty with the mud. It tends to break your fall quite well.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't worry about it very much." And it's at this point, like, she says, "I wouldn't worry about it very much," and then you take one good look at her, and she probably weighs, like, maybe 80 pounds soaking wet, and is also a fucking cat, so she can land from a great height perfectly fine.
Yep.
So she's like, "Oh, I wouldn't worry about it, it's perfectly fine." And what that, like, interprets through, like, the translator to you guys is, yeah, do be a little careful.
Yep.
And it's at this that she sort of awaits to see if anyone else has anything to say.
One more thing.
Hmm.
Do you at least know their names?
No. I've
Damn it.
made it a point to try not to learn the names of people that I intend to kill. And it is at this that she walks away.
Oh, safe.
Caius, like, Caius's body entirely tense up.
It is important to note, she did learn Moggs' name just then.
Oh.
Was there
Pat
like
Caius in the leg. I'll remember you fondly.
Moggs? So there's like Caius lets out like a held breath, as if he was like it's not. I'm gonna just say this. It was almost like a slight sense of, and he was slightly intimidated.
Ooh, we got
Can we
He's
try
trying to-
this?
But Caius is trying to hide that. I'm almost
Correct.
100% certain. Okay.
Correct.
I want
Yes,
to
he
perceive
is.
it.
Does anyone
I'm-
want to try to?
Yes.
To
I want to perceive it.
I'm going
Yeah.
to give Caius the same benefit that
No.
I give
That's fair. That's fair.
Lumia for trying to hide her smut books.
Oh yeah.
Advantage and a passive +5 to a deception check.
Do
Wait,
we
I get a
all
what?
roll insight?
Anyone who wants to roll insight can, but Caius, I need you to roll 2d20, add deception, and add +5 to the highest roll.
Fuck.
Oh, I don't have any deception because I don't have charisma.
So then it's just 2d20 and then
Yep.
take the highest +5. Let's see what the bar is that you guys need to meet. Oh,
Please.
okay, 19.
19.
Oh,
Okay.
So you guys need to meet or beat a 19 on a d20.
Ah.
Oh.
morning guide me, please.
Were we doing insight?
Insight, yes.
Okay.
Do I have any bonus for like literally being right next to him?
I'd say like a passive +2. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One or more of you made.
Oh my god!
I'm a 24 total. 24 total.
Okay. So 19 is what we're trying to meet or beat. Moggs, what is your total, including that?
That's so rolling at 6 is a 14.
14. Goddamn. Harvey, what'd you get?
I got a 3. I'm not like I'm like looking at the ground. I don't like the cat lady.
Yeah, that's fair. Lumia, what'd you get?
I got a 24.
Okay. Billy, what'd you get?
17.
17. Okay. Lumia, you clock that Caius is intimidated. In what manner is Caius intimidated? Is Caius intimidated like there's
Sexually?
different type okay.
I restrained so hard, Jake.
I'll toss that in the ring. There are different types of being intimidated. There's like physically intimidated by like you think this person could beat you up, but then there's also the type of intimidation where it's like they just have that almost like air of charisma about them that is naturally kind of intimidating, where it's like
It's
you don't know 100% if they could beat you up, and that's what's frightening.
it's not the one that's just the aura of like, it's not that one, not her aura. It's literally in the back of his mind the moment she says that these are two people that she's planning to kill, yet these are some of the most powerful people in this continent right now.
Mm-hmm.
That sits with Caius like she's not someone to fuck around with, and he's very interested in her now.
Cool.
Because it takes
I'll
a
go
lot
ahead
to
and
just boast
say-
that out.
I'll go ahead and say I'm going to give this to both Caius and Lumia for what are functionally some pretty good rolls on this. I know yours was a deception check, Caius, but I'll give it to both of you. Your tag goes back to her office. As she opens and closes the door to her office, you can actually spot that there are weapons in the office that she does not carry around on her person. It looks like a pair of flintlock pistols and a rapier.
Damn.
What the fuck? She's strapped.
It is on like a belt that she is not wearing, but that she could equip quite swiftly. And it strikes you that the manner in which she fights is likely one of a dexterous nature, although you don't know if there's any magical influence on that. It doesn't appear as though there is, but looks can be deceiving.
Gotcha. So after that, like, I guess once she closes the door, Kai's like takes a deep breath in and lets out a sigh
Mhm.
before turning around and says, "I'm keeping this bounty personally. If you guys want to help, by all means, I'm keeping this."
I'm
yeah.
gonna pat Caius on the back and give him a wink and say, "Sure thing, bud."
Actually, Caius, I would like to help you with that. I have some ideas.
Great. Just know that we can't kill any of them.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah, perfect.
Good.
We don't
And
have to
then-
do it, buddy.
I want to. Okay, Harvey, you say yeah, perfect, and Caius, beamed into your brain is the image of Harvey walking through a goblin, which happens.
It's like-
Mm.
I guess guys will then turn back to Harvey and like,
I'd be like, okay.
Harvey, I promise you,
No, for real. I plan on using poisons.
Poison. I don't know if that's
Poisons
gonna work.
kill.
No. Not all of them. Not all poison.
Okay,
No,
you
it's,
know what?
I know. I like agree. I'm 100% like with Harvey on this.
My
Like, yeah,
mind
some
went. My
poisons
mind went
don't.
straight to ether.
Ether.
The fuck?
What is-
Oh, it's technically a
Get 'em-
poison.
yeah, get them while they're sleeping.
That's funny.
Oh.
That's good. Cool.
Oh, like
in reg-
sleeping.
I mean, you could get some paralytics or some sleeping poisons or stuff of that nature. Those are things that will require like some finagling, especially because the only alchemy shop in this place is like Pink Health Alchemy Goods, like a goody two shoes kind of like we sell remedies sort of deal. So if you walk in there and you go like, give me poisons, they'll be like, what? What do you need poisons for?
If only there was a shady bar we could go to.
Oh
If
my God.
only there was a shady bar you could go to with a shit ton of different people that you can
Or
interact with and maybe fight with.
would is there a possibility that she would sell a poisoner's kit?
A poisoner's kit?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely something that's on the table. I know that I
Okay.
just said like they won't sell poisons, but they'll sell a poisoner's kit. But in reality,
I mean, it's like the
a poisoner's kit and like an alchemist's kit are almost identical with like one or two exceptions. So realistically, you'd probably be going in there buying an alchemist's kit and then being like, instead of getting this, can I get this? And they'll be like, oh sure.
Oh, gosh.
Only we knew somebody that could gain proficiency in tools.
You are so like I hope you realize giving you that I'm like helping you lean into the fact that like Kenku has those bonuses to being able to roll skill checks, and you have the bonus d6s from your psychic dice from Soul Knife. Like you've got some crazy fucking bonuses. You can overnight become a master in something. Cool. Is there anything anyone else wants to accomplish in this place?
No.
All
That's
set.
adorable.
Caius has a lot on his mind right now, and even though he was trying to hide it, I guess does he clock that Lumia kind of knows?
Yes, yeah. I'm so sorry, Bear. I feel like every session we start the session and then it's just haymaker after haymaker into Caius.
No,
Where it's
this
like,
is fine. This is perfect. This is so fine.
like every time Caius learns something new that is related in some way to his backstory plot, it's like a full-fledged, like wound up from behind my head haymaker into Caius, where it's like, hey, by the way, this person wants to kill your mom. It's like, oh my god.
Oh my god, dude. It really is.
Sounds like one of those wrestling ads.
What are you talking about?
All right, but yes. Just make sure when we go and take care of these bandits, we try and take all of them alive.
Be a lot of gold. That actually would be a metric fuck ton of gold.
It's
By the
not
way.
about the gold.
When is it not about the gold? What do you mean? Cool. So now that you guys have, established stuff with the bounty board, your tag is obviously still able to be interacted with. She is just in her office, so if any of you guys want to individually go and interact with her throughout the day, you are more than welcome to. But after this, is there anything anyone else wants to do with the whole group in tow?
Did
Shopping montage.
Woo!
Hell yeah, shopping montage. Okay. Is everyone okay with that? Do you want to start doing shopping stuff?
Hell yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, well, Harvey, if you got something else you want to do,
No.
all ears.
I'm totally good. I was gonna pull up the
I
thing
am-
on the side.
Shopping shopkeeper info
agenda
circuit.
thing.
I'm sorry, you're what, Billy?
No, I'm reading off the info circuit. Fuck.
This is Billy. This is in character.
You'd be like,
That's also in character.
Never mind.
Minnie's just playing herself. Cool. So the places that you can go, obviously, you guys are going to shop for stuff, so it might not make sense for you to go to taverns, but the Silver Spoon and Nart & Sons are both available for you guys to go to. The general goods store is the Copper Bottoms. Copper Bottoms sells everything from the adventuring gear tab on the Roll20 website, which I believe I may have sent to you guys before. So if you just go Google D&D 5e adventuring gear, click the one that is from the Roll20 page, and everything that is on that list is available, with maybe one or two exceptions. They can also pawn off magical items, and they do have a very, very, very small store of magic items. They are not a magic item store. They are a general goods store, but they do have one or two. Then you have the Pink Health Alchemy Goods, which is also the group of people that posted the Necrobloom quest, so you could go there and ask about that. They sell potions. They also sell services, including services that can cure exhaustion, cure minor illnesses, and custom potions that protect you against exceptionally high heat and exceptionally cool cold. So if you wanted to maybe go to a desert location or frosty winter location later on in your quests, you won't end up having to roll those those checks to determine whether or not you get exhaustion over time. So that's Pink Health Alchemy Goods. There's also Mira Smithworks, which is a place that carries armor. There is Secondhand Steel, which is a place that carries weapons. And then there are a bunch of mundane buildings, including a carpenter, a jeweler, the Church of Suo, the Temple of the Host, the courthouse, and the stockade. Where do you guys want to go?
Guys, I don't know what to
Oh
buy.
my god.
There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit. Tell you what, you guys can just do some window shopping and go to each of these places and see, do they have any unique things and like
I was
who
gonna say, I
owns
want
these
some
establishments?
unique items. See
Yeah.
if,
Would you guys be okay with just going down the list, starting at like Copper Bottoms, working your way to Secondhand Steel?
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, totally cool.
Bottoms.
So this will be the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to kind of do a cursory look at who owns the place, who's working there, and what special stuff that they have. If you guys want to interact with it, feel free to interrupt me. I'm just going to go through everything, assuming you guys are otherwise window shopping. But the moment that you guys say, "Hey, Belle," or like just interrupt me in some capacity, I will stop and be like, "Yeah, what's up? How do you want to interact with this place?" So, is everyone cool with that?
Yeah, that's cool.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you guys head over to Copper Bottoms. Copper Bottoms is a smaller establishment. It's being a general goods store. It has like a little bit of everything. You step in. There's sort of like a sort of pot that is on the sign that hangs overhead that just says Copper Bottoms General Goods. You step inside. You can see that there's a human man that is behind the counter. Who waves to you. He looks like he's very old at this point. He has this sort of like grumpy expression on his face, maybe not fully bald, but has like the monk cut around his head. It's got graying, but not fully gray hair, and he kind of like acknowledges you guys. His name is Herbert Middleson. He's very much so like a jaded old guy. He's not like super chipper and on the up and up. He's one of the workers here. In the back, you see coming out of the sort of back of the store carrying a box of goods that they're setting up on shelves. You can see Eggert Twine, who is the actual owner and operator of the establishment, is a young human man. You kind of gauge that Herbert might be upset by the fact that Eggert is a younger man and is the owner of the store. There's some type of like tension there. And the final employee is a young tiefling woman by the name of Abraya Yifa, and she is sort of also tending to the store at this point in time. Acknowledges you guys as you enter. The only two special items that are here. First off, they offer free appraisal of items to give you the exact gold amount that they would purchase the item for and that they would sell the item for. So that is something you guys can do if ever you so desired. But they also sell a bag of holding and a scroll of banishment. So a bag of holding is exactly what it sounds like. It is a bag that will allow you to hold all of your goods. As far as I am aware, Moggs currently has a bag of holding as part of their infused items. But if you guys were to purchase an actual bag of holding, it would free up an infused item for Moggs to do potentially some more wacky shit in the future. But bag of holding is 500 gold. The bag has an interior space considerably larger than it is on its outside, roughly 2 feet in diameter at the mouth and 4 feet deep. It can hold up to 500 pounds, not exceeding a volume of 64 cubic feet. It always weighs 15 pounds, regardless of its contents, and retrieving an item from the bag requires 1 action. And that's it. There's obviously some other stuff, but bag of holding, very solid item, very useful to always have. Scroll of Banishment is a 600 gold consumable item. Banishment is a 4th level spell, requires an action with a range of 60 feet. You can hold concentration on it for up to 1 minute. You force a creature to make a charisma save, and on a failure, if they are native to the plane of existence that you're on, you banish them to a harmless demiplane for 1 minute. While there, they are incapacitated and they remain there until the spell ends, after which point they return back to the spot that you banished them. If they are from a different plane of existence than the one you're on, such as a demon or devil, you will banish them to their home plane, and if the spell elapses for the full minute duration, they will remain there and not return to the space that you banished them from. So, very helpful spell, especially if you're in a one-on-one engagement with something that is extraplanar. You can kind of banish them and be like, fight's over.
Love that.
Control Alt Delete.
Pretty much.
This goes off of our DCs, right?
It would be your DC. If you don't have a spellcasting DC, you would use your highest mental stat to establish a spellcasting DC. So
And
this
do we still have a thing where we have to do checks to cast something that's not on our spell list?
I'm gonna say as long as you can cast spells naturally, you won't have to make like a super high DC. So the rules for this is out of character for the whole party to know. The rules for spellcasting from scrolls in 5th edition are a little dumb. If you cannot cast the spell like naturally, as in, for instance, Lumia, it's on your spell list, but you don't have a 4th level spell slot to cast it. You cannot use this scroll. The rules as written with 5th edition, you cannot cast the Scroll of Banishment. Harvey can never use the scroll because Harvey doesn't know spells. Harvey can just not use the scroll. And it feels like it defeats the purpose for scrolls. So way back in the day, I introduced a rule where anyone can use a scroll, they just have to make checks in accordance with the level of the spell they're trying to use. I'm gonna lighten up on that. Depending on the circumstances or depending on the spell, I might require a roll to successfully cast the spell. However, the one thing I am going to lift from that rule is that if you fail the check, the scroll isn't wasted. It's just the attempt to use the scroll, like the action that you used, that is wasted. So the scroll won't burn up and you failed to cast the spell and you wasted 600 gold, but you will use an action, not cast the spell. So in the case that one of you has, like for instance, Lumia, it would be easier for you to cast Banishment because Banishment is literally on your spell list. But if someone like, for instance, Caius were to try to cast the spell, Caius, it's going to be a lot harder for you to cast it.
Okay, yeah.
But someone like maybe you, Billy, you would have an easier time. I would say that I would make an argument that both Moggs and Harvey would have an equally easy/difficult time, probably in the midway point between Lumia and Caius, where it's like, you can definitely do it, but it's not like as easy as either Lumia or Billy because they're full-fledged casters. And I know you're not a caster, Harvey, but because of your kind of weird psychic shit you got going on, that will contribute.
Okay.
So as long as everyone's
Is
cool.
it?
600 gold. It is a 4th level spell scroll.
Yeah.
So those are the only 2 special things that are here. And does anyone want to interact with the store, or are we good with going to Pink Health Alchemy Goods?
I want to buy some stuff here.
Hell yeah.
Caius, I don't know if
Yes.
you went through the list yet, but Manacles is part of the adventuring gear
Yes.
list.
That is true.
Manacles. Manacles.
Handcuffs.
Yeah, I mean, we've got so things that you can buy here. You can buy things like acid vials and alchemist's fire vials. You can buy antitoxins and ammunition for things like crossbows and bows and arrows and so on and so forth.
Do you have another
can
jar
buy-
of oil?
Jar of oil. I mean, the closest that I am going to tell you is the alchemist's fire vial. Alchemist Fire is a special adventuring gear item. As an action, you can throw it up to 20 feet. It shatters on impact. You make a ranged attack against a creature or object. On a hit, they take a d4 fire damage at the start of each of their turns. They can attempt to end this damage by making an action to make a DC 10 dex check to extinguish the flame. So basically, it's just an improvised item that you throw at someone to make damage over time happen on them.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah, that's fair. There's also acid. Acid's not good. It does 2d6 acid damage and that's it. It costs 25 gold.
That's a kind of a ripoff, don't you think?
100%. 100%. There's a bag of caltrops, bag of ball bearings. There's some funny stuff there. Druidic focuses, flasks or tankards, holy symbols.
Caius
flask
then
of holy
boarded and
water.
walked out of the store.
Fair.
He's waiting outside.
There are kits for all manner of things, such as healer's kit, mess kit, so on and so forth. This would be your opportunity to purchase healer's kits, as without a healer's kit, in order to stabilize someone at 0 health, you need to make a medicine check. But if you have a healer's kit, you can just use an action and succeed.
Oh.
Yeah, healer's kits are definitely worth it. They're 5 gold apiece, but they prevent you from ever needing to make the check to stabilize somebody.
That is on my list. I have a list, Belle, that I'm gonna send. Should I just send it to you?
Yeah, I will say the one thing that I'll probably say is not here is literally it was probably basic poison and an actual healing potion. You've got an alchemist for that, Goober. I know I said most things on here, but poison and the potions are not going to be on here because of the fact those are more alchemist things.
Gotcha.
Your tricks.
Yeah, shoot the list, gamer. See what you got.
Well, I gotta pull some stuff off now.
My goodness.
Does anyone else want to buy anything here?
Wow.
I think I'm good.
Cool.
I think I would just inquire if they do bartering.
Like bartering as in trading an item for another item, or bartering as in like haggling?
As in item as part of payment.
They nod and they're like, you see, but here, I'll go ahead and here, Eggert kind of lets Herbert away from the front desk to speak with you guys, and see Eggert kind of leans forward and goes like, yeah, we do bartering. It's part of the fact that we do pawn items, we do purchase items from adventurers or road wardens that might pass through here. It will contribute 50% of the item's value to whatever it is that you're purchasing, and if that happens to exceed the value of what you're purchasing, we will give you gold to, make up the difference.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Yeah, does Harvey want to try to haggle?
No, I'm cool with it.
Cool. Then yeah, that absolutely works. You get everything you're looking for here. More fucking ball bearings. I mean, makes sense. Fully makes sense. Yeah, go ahead and add all that stuff to your inventory. It is a very clean, easy deal to make. They ask, is there anything else that you guys want?
I think I'm good.
I'm good as well.
Unless you have Kleenex.
I'm out of
keeping his shopping list secret while he's shopping literally next to all of us.
It's more boring than anything.
It's like block and tackle, caltrop, stuff like that.
Yeah,
just
we're
interested.
Well, there it is.
It's honestly a good chunk of stuff. It's a decent set of items. Cool. So moving on from there,
he's coming out with
wait,
brown
5
paper bags
caltrops or 5 bags of caltrops?
5 bags of caltrops.
Oh my god, how many caltrops is there? How many are there?
A million.
One bag.
There are 20 caltrops in a bag, so they're getting
so I have
100 caltrops. Yeah, you have to use 20 of them to use the caltrops.
100 D4s, really.
I have five caltrop uses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Caltrops are crazy good. You could play what's that? I don't remember what the fuck that game was. You play Jax.
Oh my god.
He was so quick with it.
You gotta be fucking careful if you're.
Oh my god.
Caius is gonna step on all of them.
Really painful Jax.
No, I will fully admit caltrops are actually one of the very few adventuring gear items that I will say lasts until the late game because it is crazy good. The fact that the DC is 15 for an item that you can get at level 1 is already very good. It doesn't scale, but it is. They take a piercing damage. Their speed is reduced by 10 feet until they regain at least 1 hit point.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Some creatures just can't fucking do that. So in combat, that is the potential to take a creature and be like, your walking speed is permanently reduced by 10
I
feet.
had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah, caltrops are good. Cool. So you guys move from there to Pink Health Alchemy Goods. You step into what is honestly a lot more of a homely place. You can see that there's some sort of flower gardens that are on the windowsills, and there's very obviously a greenhouse in the back of this building. But you step inside and you see that there are there's a pair of what looks like relatively elderly gnomes. They are maybe as tall as Moggs, maybe even a little shorter than Moggs. That are actually Moggs. How tall?
Shorter than Moggs?
Yeah, how tall is Moggs?
2'6", I think it was.
2'6". They're around the same height, a little bit taller than Moggs. But you can see that they're very sort of like white-haired gnomes. One of them is this lady with this nice sort of like single braid down her back, and you see that the other one is this gnome with a full head of hair, but is very sort of thinning. They've got on what looks like maybe some sort of like some shawls and sweaters and stuff like that to keep themselves comfy inside their home, and they see you guys enter and sort of like very warmly invite you in and offer you some tea as you peruse their wares. The
I'm
goods
2'4".
You're 2'4". Okay, yeah, then they are taller than you. The goods that they offer, the very specific goods that they have currently available, they can make more, but they need the ingredients required to do so. They have the ingredients to make some of these again, but it would be a case-by-case basis. They've got 3 healing potions for sale right now. They've got another 3 that are reserved for the quest. So there's technically 6 that are available, but they're not going to sell
quest?
Yeah, that's their
okay.
quest. It was Gimti Loxland. You do see they introduce themselves, Mrs. Gimti Loxland and Mr. Tubbert Loxland. But they have 3 healing potions for sale. They are 50 gold apiece. They have 1 potion of greater healing, which is 200 gold. They have a potion of bottled breath, which is 150 gold. They have a lycanthrope antidote for 35 gold. They have a potion of fire breath for 150 gold. And they have a potion of diminution, I don't know how the fuck to pronounce that word, for 200 gold. They also offer to cure exhaustion for 25 gold per level of exhaustion, to cure minor illnesses for 50 gold, which is any disease or poison originating from a source of 4th level or lower. So things like common cold, flu, stuff like that, they can cure it for 50 gold. They have 2 potions of inner warmth, which are the homebrew potions I was telling you about before, so those won't pull up on a Google search, 25 gold apiece, and potion of inner cool, 25 gold apiece. Would any of you guys like to know what more of these do?
I want to talk to her.
Oh yeah, you sort of approach her. The way that the counter is set up is they very obviously have like a set of stairs that goes up to the counter to where they can be eye level with most of their patrons. So she sort of goes like, "Oh, give me a moment, dearie." She steps up and gets up onto the counter and sort of like leans over and goes like, "What can I help you with, miss?"
So we took the offer, your blower problem.
For the necrobloom.
Yeah, what can you tell us more about that? And also, I have a question if you could help me out with something also in like exchange for us doing the quest. I'm not sure if you would allow.
Oh, absolutely. You're a fountain of questions. What's your question, dearie?
I have like an illness and like it's kind of different than most illnesses. I can't get you sick.
Oh, she kind of leans in and makes a whisper and is like, "Is it of the private kind?"
No, I'm pretty upfront about telling people as long as like.
Oh,
I didn't tell my party, but one of them found out because they took a bite of me.
Oh my goodness.
It's fine.
Dearie.
It was their identification process.
So I'm gonna ask a question to Minnie the player.
Okay.
Do you understand the insinuation of what they're interpreting?
What? No?
They asked if it was an illness of a private variety. Which implies that it is an illness of your private bodily functions.
Oh my god.
You then said that a party member found out because they bit you.
Oh no.
So this lady is like, "Oh my goodness."
And Can I roll an insight check for Billy?
No need for you to roll an insight check. I feel
I'm
like
smart
Billy-
enough.
I feel
I'm
like
smart
Billy,
enough.
Billy immediately sees this woman kind of go like, oh my goodness, well, if that's
Oh,
what you're into.
no, not that kind. I have like a cold, but like really bad, like magic cold.
Oh,
Like I'll show the kind of like literal ice on my skin.
literal ice, and she goes like, so when you say cold, do you mean
I mean
like,
it.
like you're cold?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me, but
Is
I
it
mean, you
safe to
can
touch?
touch it. It won't hurt.
She gingerly
It is
takes
really
a
cold,
hand.
though.
She gingerly takes one of her very, very small gnomish hands out and places
Aw.
a hand on it and goes like, oh my goodness, that is very cold. Well, dearie, I've got not the slightest idea what is going on here. How
Maybe
long have
you
you
could
had this
take
illness?
like a bit of like maybe the crystal on top of it, like the ice, and maybe like look at it alchemically.
I can certainly take a look at it if you'd like me to, miss.
When after we complete the quest,
Oh, sure, as an additional addendum to the quest, I would love to do
if
that for you,
possible,
dearie.
yeah.
It's certainly possible for me to try. Would that be okay?
Yes.
She sort of like takes a moment. She's like, she looks out at the rest of the party and goes like, so are you folks okay with taking on the quest for the Necrobloom?
Yeah.
I nod. Yeah.
I don't
what
know
does
much
the
about ghost
necrobloom
flowers,
do?
but
Well, I'm glad you
Oh
asked.
yeah, I was gonna ask. more about
First off, I feel so rude. I haven't introduced myself. I am Mrs. Gimty Loxland. I am the person who actually put the quest on the bounty board. To whom do I have the pleasure of speaking? And she
I'm
looks at-
Billy.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Billy.
I'm
Looks to Harvey.
Caius.
Oh.
I just interject, Caius. Back here.
She nods and she's like, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Caius.
I'm Harvey.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Harvey.
I'm Lumia.
Pleasure to meet you, Miss Lumia.
A bit excited there,
Leans
Harvey.
leans over the counter to look down at Moggs and goes, what's your name, little one?
Moggs was a little bit lost in thought, just kind of like looking around and go, oh, hi, I'm Moggs.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Moggs. She kind of like leans back over.
Yeah.
She had to like get her feet up off the ground in order to lean over the table. You can see that she like grunts as she gets back. She's like, okay.
And
Well.
this is Webigail.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you. Is it Miss Webigail or Mr. or just Webigail?
Are you going to talk to yourself?
Yeah, that's right. That's true. Webigail looks up and just goes, Webigail. And you see that Gimty goes like, okay. Well, what can I tell you about the Necrobloom? Well, the unfortunate part about that is that we don't know very much about the Necrobloom. At the end of the day, the Necrobloom, the ghost flower, as it has also been known colloquially, it's a very interesting...
Flowers haunted.
Well, it's funny that you say that. It kind of is. Necromantic energies are only supposed to be able to resurrect dead creatures, an animal or a human of some sort. And that's typically how necromantic energies operate. But the Necrobloom is when a necromantic curse goes a little haywire. It detracts itself from the weave and starts to infect other things that have died, which aren't quite in the same wavelength as, humanoids or other creatures, and starts to infect plant life.
You can
And
see
you can
Caius'
sort of-
brain melting.
You can sort of see the problem with this. It spreads a little bit like an illness to all sorts of plant life. However, she sort of holds up a finger and she's like, while I cannot give you the specifics of perhaps what this strain of the Necrobloom could do, I'm almost 100% certain that it originated from a creature of some type. Whether that creature be a necromancer or perhaps just a creature afflicted with necromantic energies in some way, perhaps a resurrected creature, a zombified or something of that nature. The one thing I know is it's wreaking havoc. It's causing a lot of problems for the Road Warden Society, and it's also causing a lot of problems for my husband and I. We do tend to harvest a lot of our herbs locally and in the wilds out there. And, when you go to try to harvest a flower and it starts to fight back, it's a little bit of a problem.
I don't think I've seen a flower fight back a day in my life.
Oh, neither had we until now. It's actually quite rare to get instances of necrobloom outside of Tabata. So she sort of like holds out a hand. She goes, "Does one of you have a map that would be comfortable with me marking the location of the necrobloom?"
I probably
I
have one, or anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
either
mean,
one.
anyone sort of like sets it down. She marks a general location. She's like, "This is where we saw it last. That was at least the edge of the necrobloom as we knew it. It's almost 100% certain. I'm almost 100% certain that it's further inward from this location. So you might have to brave a couple necromantic flowers in order to get to the heart of the matter. But realistically, all that you'd need to do is to thwart the source of the necrobloom, whoever it's originating from. Once they're killed, or once they have, been put down, if it is a zombified creature of some sort, and what's going to happen is all of those necromantic magics are going to be siphoned from the plant life, and the natural order will return.
Oh.
I wish I could tell you more, but the only thing I really know is that we tried to harvest some herbs, and they bit my husband. And you see that Mr. Tubbert, who has thus far been completely silent, but still present in the conversation, he's got this like super bushy mustache that is like super droopy over his mouth. He just
Can't
holds
see his
up.
upper lip.
You cannot see his upper lip. You can't see his bottom lip either. He's got a long beard and a droopy mustache, and it almost looks like his eyes are perpetually closed. He holds up one of his arms and pulls down his sleeve, and you can see that there's a bandage on his arm.
Oh.
What kind of symptoms did you have, or was it just a bite?
You see that Mrs. Gimty kind of looks forward and goes, "Oh, it was fortunately enough just a bite. We treated it right away just to be sure, but he didn't experience a fever or really anything of that nature. We were quite lucky. I sort of envision that there might be further consequences. So, if you would like, I could
Antitox.
Yes, antitoxin.
Does the anti-plague exist in D&D? Because the antitoxin says poisons, but not diseases. What's the
I will
version?
classify this as a poison for the purposes of antitoxin.
Okay.
Okay.
So let me pull up antitoxin real quick just to make sure. It says it provides advantage on saves against poisons for 1 hour. It confers no benefits to undead or constructs. Yeah. So the normal price for this is 50 gold, but you do see that she's like, and as a, of course we want to stay in business, but I also don't want to set you guys out there with no protection. So if you did want to purchase any antitoxin, I'll definitely supply them to you for half the price that they normally are. If that's amenable to all of you, it would be 25 gold for a bottle, which lasts about an hour. So anyone who wants to buy antitoxin. Who's taking care of it? I think it was either Moggs or Caius.
Taking care of what now?
The party pot.
Oh,
I can tell you right now how much is in there if that's what you need to know.
I think I put it in the notes for the thing.
It's also in the hub. So like
that is true. 2 platinum, 2 gold, 2 silver, and 3 copper.
Yeah.
I'm buying an antitoxin.
Rolling in it.
Does anyone else want to buy an antitoxin?
You should.
You know what? Yeah.
How much are they?
So normally the price is 50. She is selling them to you for 25.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. So anyone who wants to purchase one, go ahead and mark 25 gold off of
I will
your...
also buy a healing potion.
Okay, so that is 1 healing potion that has been sold. She does sort of, graciously, she bags it in like what effectively looks like newspaper wrapping and then puts it in a paper bag for you and hands it to you, making sure that the bottles don't clink against each other. And she goes, the healing potions, I know that they're not typically very potable, they're not very tasty, so these healing potions are strawberry flavored.
Oh, that's so cool.
She goes, you're a fan of strawberries, huh?
Quite excited about that one.
It's
cool.
She seems pretty happy. She seems like, oh, I'm glad that someone's just as much of a fan of strawberries as I am. Is there anything else that anyone wants to do here?
I've pretty much forgot all the other potions, but
Here, I'll just go ahead and like copy paste their stock.
okay.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Canonically, Caius has no idea what to buy in form
What
of
the fuck?
potions.
Honestly, just if I had to take a guess, Caius has probably had healing potions before.
Probably, yeah, well, healing potions, yeah, but other stuff, no.
You can buy a
I'll
Wait,
try
I
a
forgot.
lycanthrope antidote.
Okay.
You never know.
You see that she goes like, oh, well, certainly, dearie. It's discounted quite heavily. Normally, they were supposed to be about 100 gold when we first started making them, but it's been quite some time since the lycanthrope plague came through here.
What does this do?
It cures you of lycanthropy.
Lycanthropy is a wolf disease.
Caius
It's
takes
a
time
little
back a little bit.
Changing.
It's a little more complicated than that, but yeah, it's
Yes.
effectively a disease that on a full moon will transform you into a werewolf, and if you manage to go through several full moons in a row, then you're going to permanently become a werewolf and not be able to turn back. So we started mass producing lycanthropy antidotes and selling them to people for a discounted price, and at a
Hey,
certain
Belle.
point,
What's the moon tonight?
I don't know, let's like roll a d20 and figure it out. On phases of
What's the moon cycle? When do we need to look out for werewolves?
I'm
Tell
gonna look
us
at
the
phases of
zodiac
moon. Okay,
system.
there are 8 phases of the moon. I want someone to roll a d8 for me.
I'll roll a d8.
Cool. 2, 3, 4. It is a waxing crescent moon, which means that then
So
we're going to go
when's
into
the
first
next
quarter. First quarter waxing gibbous, and then full moon is next. I don't know.
How does the moon cycle work in your world?
It spins.
It's about 3 weeks until the next full moon.
Okay, cool. Don't gotta worry about it right now.
Right
Is there
now.
something you're not telling us?
Oh no, there was a lycanthropy plague that came through here some years ago. We helped handle it by making some lycanthrope antidotes to make sure that, people got better. But it's been some time since then.
This is gonna
We
be
just-
one of those items that I buy and it's gonna come up like 50 sessions later and we're all gonna be like, oh my god, she still has it!
Gimti kind of shrugs and goes like, you never know.
That wasn't in character!
Oh no, it totally was.
Caius is taking mental note of them saying that there was some how long ago was this?
A couple years. She references maybe about like 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, okay, never mind. There's no way then.
I mean,
But you see that she goes like, is there anything else that I can get for any of you dearies?
I'll grab
Okay.
I'll grab a couple of healing potions as well.
Only
We've got
2
two
left.
more. We've got 2 more generic potions of healing in stock. We've also got a potion of greater healing. But if you'd like, you can certainly put in an order for more healing potions. I would just have to get the gold up front before I can actually give the potions to you.
I want to see all those potions gone, guys. All of them.
I'm going to, yeah. You know what? I'll buy the 2 potions and a potion of greater healing.
Whoa.
So
Whoa.
Big spender.
So that'll be a total of 300 gold. Is that all right for you, dearie?
Absolutely, you've been too kind to us so far.
Wonderful. You see that she takes up the 2 potions of healing. Those are very obviously sort of like red tinted. She takes up the potion of greater healing and it looks purple. And she's like, "This one's blueberry."
oh, I
Oh,
love her!
I love you too, dearie.
Can I buy the
Why is she
potion of fire
breaking the
breath?
4th wall?
Because the DM wants to.
God.
Because it's funny. Potion of fire breath. So, yeah, you can absolutely buy a potion of fire breath. For those that are unaware, you drink it as an action, and then as a bonus, or actually, no, you drink a potion with either an action or a bonus action, so whatever you choose. But you can use a bonus action to exhale fire at a target within 30 feet of you. They make a DC 13 dex save, or take 4d6 damage on a fail, or half as much on a success. The effect ends if you exhale fire for 3 times, or after an hour has passed. Yeah, she goes, "Oh, potion of fire breath, that'd be 150 gold. Is that all right with you, dearie?"
Absolutely.
Wonderful. She packages it up for you and gives you the potion. So literally the only potions that they have are the potions of inner warmth and inner cool, the bottled breath, and the potion of diminution. Does anyone want either of those, or are we good to?
I think I'm good. I'm gonna save my money for
Wonderful.
Huron.
Yeah, I'm saving for something specifically, so I'm good.
Well, as it so happens,
Caius is literally just impulse buying now because he doesn't have anything he wants to buy.
she sort of waves to you all as you depart. She says, "Oh, come by again. I'll see you all on the floor. So be careful if you decide to take care of the necrobloom, okay? I'll start making more potions for you." And you see that you guys step towards Mura's Smithworks. Now, Mura's Smithworks is something that is up on one of those sort of like wooden pedestals, rather than being on a stone pedestal like the others. It is an open air sort of workshop that she has here, and you can, as you're on the way here, you can hear echoing through the air the sound of a hammer on an anvil with metal in between. So you can hear sort of like the tinking of a hammer on sort of like metal being crimped, and then the sort of tinking of the hammer on the actual anvil itself. It looks like she's getting into some sort of a rhythm as you step in, and you see Jude Cormura, the dwarven woman who operates this shop. She sort of like looks up to you all. She's got a pair of goggles that she is wearing that she kind of like puts up. She's got this fiery red sort of curly hair that she has tied up into a low ponytail in her back. And she looks like an incredibly tanned woman. She looks like she's been working for quite some time. She's got baggy pants, maybe boots that are, the pants are tucked into, and she's functionally wearing a tank top. And so she sees all of you approach. She kind of wipes sweat off of her brow as she puts the sort of like shoulder piece of armor that she's been working on back into the forge, closes the forge up, and then turns to you all and goes like, "All right, hello. Is there anything that I can do for you?" Mira offers anything that is available in the armor tab, as well as offering mithril and adamantine armor. She can trim armor with mithril and adamantine, which will add the properties of either mithril or adamantine to that armor. Just ignore the physics of it. It doesn't matter. Basically, any armor that you want that is medium or heavy armor, except for hide, can be instilled with mithril, which is an 800 gold charge, or instilled with adamantine, which is a 900 gold charge.
Oh, guys, you think we can afford that?
No, sadly.
Not yet.
I want it so bad. We got to do some bounties. I'm not leaving
Get a
this
couple
town without it.
injections of gold from some bounties. You might be able to do it.
Right.
Yeah, she
we'll
sort of
be
like
back on that.
she
one. Oh my
gestures
gosh.
to the armor that are up on her stand. She goes like, "Yeah, right. You're more than welcome to go ahead and take a look at my stock. I'm gonna get back to work." She puts the goggles back on, reaches back into the
Mr.
forge, and gets
DM.
back to hammering. Yeah, what's up?
Remind me, mithril does what, and adamine does the no crits, right?
Adamantine, yes. I'll pull up mithril and adamantine just to make sure that everyone knows exactly what it does. Adamantine says a critical hit against you becomes a normal hit. That is literally all it does. And then mithril says, so a mithril chain shirt or breastplate can be worn under normal clothes. If the armor normally imposes disadvantage on stealth checks or has a strength requirement, the mithril version of the armor does not.
Yeah.
That is really the important part for Lilia, because you currently have a suit of plate armor that you cannot wear. So if you were to make that plate armor mithril plate armor, it would, first, you'd be able to wear it because it doesn't have a strength requirement. And second, you also would not have disadvantage on stealth checks, which is a minor thing, but something that is important to note.
I want to sneak like everyone else.
Mogs would ask the same bartering question.
She sort of turns to you. She's got her goggles on. She takes one look up, holds her hammer up and goes, "No," and then starts hammering again.
I like this girl. She's
I
like
do
straight to the
too.
point.
She's ripped. She's swole, by the way. I
my God.
didn't mention that. Yeah, she's fully like
Stop.
tan
Stop
muscles.
talking to me right now.
4 yards. She is like 4 feet tall. She's a dwarf.
And?
But
Oh,
no, I'm just making sure. Just making sure you're aware.
Oh God. Fucking great.
I have a terrible gift.
Terrible gift.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Send.
I don't.
What are
wanna
you?
see
What
it,
are
I'm
you about to
scared.
fucking say?
Oh God, dude.
Never mind.
I'm
I
already
didn't
angry
realize-
and I haven't
No!
seen it.
Well, the way I opened up my
never
phone,
mind.
I am sitting here staring at this.
I did not realize that this campaign was going to turn into the Caius dating sim.
Brother, leave me alone.
It's
you're
really
you're
funny. I
speed
love
running me
it.
right now.
I fucking love it. It's so funny. Cool, but you guys can then go over to Secondhand Steel. Secondhand
Oh
Steel
my
is different from Mira Smithworks. Mira Smithworks is very much so like the workshop and the storefront are the same thing. Secondhand Steel has a workshop in the back, but the front is an actual storefront. You can hear the sound of a forge kind of like gently kindling, but it isn't currently being actively used. You guys enter in. You see that there are a pair of very young halflings which look almost identical to one another. They introduce themselves as Tilly and Tally, and then you can see there is an older Tabaxi man, looks like his fur is maybe graying in the nose and around the ears, who introduces himself as Uthwain. And they are known for purchasing magical weapons from adventurers, as well as, offering pawn services specifically for magical weapons. But they also do things with enchantments for weapons. So this is sort of like your enchanter weapon seller shop. The goods that they offer are any items that are found on the weapons section. They also offer +1 weapon runes for 300 gold pieces. And they have 2 unique items that are currently available for purchase. They obviously will get more stock in as time goes on. And the 2 items are a Dagger of Venom, which is a rare dagger that gives a +1 to attack and damage rolls. You can use an action to cause thick black poison to coat the blade. The poison remains for 1 minute or until an attack using this weapon hits a creature. That creature must make a DC 15 Constitution save, or they take 2d10 poison damage and become poisoned for 1 minute. And then the dagger cannot be used again in this way until the next dawn. So the dagger is pretty potent, but then the other weapon is the Acheron Blade. There's a rare, I believe this is a longsword. The black blade of this sword is crafted from a mysterious arcane alloy. You get +1 to attack and damage rolls with this weapon. If the sword is on your person, you are also immune to effects that would turn undead. That is only really relevant if you are undead. While holding the sword, you can use an action to give yourself a d4 +4 temporary hit points. This property can't be used again until the next dusk. And when you hit a creature with an attack using this weapon, you can fill the target with an unsettling dread. They have disadvantage on the next saving throw that it makes before the end of your next turn. The creature ignores this effect if it's immune to the frightened condition, and once you use the property, you cannot do so again until the next dusk. So, 2 very solid weapons that are available for you. They're both 3,000 gold.
Oh my god.
Why would you read it off to us?
Why do you keep dangling this in front of us? And then you're like, it's $1 billion.
I'm trying to convince you all to do unscrupulous things.
Fucked whores.
This man will explain the weapon and armor and then put a pinky to his mouth. $1 million.
Small territories reserves.
Oh my
Listen.
god, dude.
Listen, if I'm gonna present you guys with the opportunity to potentially get what is at this level
Payment
a
plan?
pretty crazy item. You guys are 4th level. Normally, I wouldn't present
their
these items to
D&D
you guys unless you were like
card.
7th or 9th level.
D&D layaway, please.
D&D layaway. You guys need to take a
Do we have
loan.
credit?
Credit cards.
Nah.
Oh.
But those are the items that are here. There's, of course, +1 weapon runes in case you guys want to enchant your own stuff. That is something you can do. But those are all of the shops and the items available at those shops. Do any of you want to go to some of the more mundane places, such as the carpenter or jewelers? They don't have specific items, so I'm not going to be able to give you, like, special sort of introductions the way that I did for these shops. These are definitely much more of, like, yeah, this is a jeweler, and that's it.
I'll leave the carpenters if Caius wants to just go and take a look at the work and stuff there. I'll do that later on. He's just gonna remember that for a moment.
Hell yeah. There's definitely more places you guys could go. I know that, Billy, you were interested in going to the Church of Suo, so that is definitely something you guys can have on the agenda. But do you guys want to continue traveling as a group, or are there individual things you guys would want to do? I would say at this point, given the places you've been and the shopping that you've done, it's probably getting close to, like, noon. You guys have been around town for quite some time.
I would like to follow whoever's going to do like info gathering.
Okay, that sounds probably like Harvey.
Harvey or
And
yeah.
also
yeah,
me.
I don't-
Yeah, do you guys want to
Okay,
split up doing info gathering, or do you guys want to go to the same place?
I kind of want to. If Harvey doesn't mind, I'd like to go with him if he feels comfortable.
Yeah,
Hell
that'd
yeah.
be awesome.
Hell yeah. Does Moggs and Caius want to go with them?
Where depends. Where are they going?
Good question.
I
Info
was
gathering is an open door.
I had a quick question. When we went to the was it the Alchemist, right?
Yeah, Pink Elf Alchemy Goods.
Did they sell like perfumes and stuff?
Ooh.
Not like on their shelves, no. They're like medicinal stuff.
Okay, like medicine, like they need antiseptics.
Mhm.
Okay. I because I really want to go ask if she'll sell me ether.
That's not suspicious at all.
Oh
Well,
my
I want
goodness,
I want to use it on the bandits.
You're gonna ask that sweet old lady.
Yeah.
So I am going to probably say that there is a chance that they could have drow poison.
Okay.
But drow poison is like a 200 gold poison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The likelihood that they would have it is honestly higher than most of the other stuff, but the likelihood that you'll be able to purchase enough
Well,
of
I
it
was
to,
because
like,
I was hoping
operate-
to get them not like so that they're not taking damage.
That's fair.
That's definitely fair. I would say that it would just need to be something that you would craft. You could get the materials that you need to craft it, but you would need to make a check to craft it. And I
Okay.
will say that a failed check does mean wasted materials.
I'm
Right,
sure we
right,
could
right.
try to be careful.
Yeah, I was
and
just looking
use
for,
melee
like,
spells.
Or something from the ingested or inhaled.
Ingested or inhaled.
Cause
Yeah,
damage.
inhaled would probably be more.
That's
I
why
mean,
I was thinking like essence of ether.
Or you could find a shady person who might be having some.
Like a shady Dr. Barber somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like essence of ether could probably be something. Yeah. We'll work with it if you want to, make crafting rolls and stuff like that. I am absolutely down. The ingredients for it will probably be less expensive than the actual item.
Yeah,
that
that's what
you
I was
can make.
thinking.
So if you were to purchase you know what? I'll say if you're trying to buy the ingredients to make the
Find
item,
ingredients.
the ingredients are
I'm
so.
scared to
here's-
Google it.
Here's how. Yeah, that's fair. Here's how we're gonna work it.
Ether.
The ingredients for Essence of Ether is going to be listed as a unique item in your inventory that just says Essence of Ether ingredients. That's it. That's all it's gonna be.
Perfect.
We're going to genericize it into a gray blob, and then you look at it for a number of hours and do a crafting check, and then it manifests into what you're trying to make.
Honestly, I love that.
I will say Essence of Ether being a 300 gold item makes sense. I'm going to say that for each piece of it that you want to make, it'd be 150 gold to get the ingredients. A successful check, which the DC of which I'll go ahead and establish as like a moderate difficulty. So like a normal difficulty DC for this level. Being level
Right.
4 would probably be like DC 15 in all likelihood. So a DC
Okay.
15 to make 1 dose, and for every 5 that you succeed further than that, you will make an additional dose.
Okay.
Does that
Yeah,
sound
because
okay?
as we're walking, I would like to explain that my intent is to just like essentially flash bang the tents and then carry them back to town.
That's a fair idea. Essence of Ether, in the way that it actually operates, targets a creature. So you'd be able to knock someone out. But someone adjacent to them can make an action to try and shake them awake.
Hmm.
And using
so-
your hands are free.
True.
That is true.
Also, I could do something before we even like approach them. I have a thing that lets me like make suggestions to people. I could at least get one of them to turn themselves in. As long as we wait for them to leave.
We could also just talk to them.
That's true. We could talk to them.
It's true.
See what's actually going
You'll
on.
need to gather more information because they mentioned that they had recently moved camp to the coastline.
Mm-hmm.
So that could you guys aren't 100% sure where they are, and you'll have to like make some checks to try and find them, figure out what's going on.
I know
We'd have
just the
ourselves
people
another
to
troll
ask.
situation.
I know just the people to ask.
Very true. Who?
So I'll go ahead and cast out there again. I know we were talking about before that Harvey, Lumia, and Billy, at the very least, were going to go info gathering. Since Caius seemed on the fence about it, and I actually didn't hear from Moggs. Moggs, would you want to go info gathering with the rest of them, or did you have anything else that you want to do?
I was pondering, and I think Moggs is going to go off on her own for a bit.
Okay. Hell yeah. If that is the case, then I'm going to go ahead and ask to Billy, Lumia, and Harvey, where would you guys want to go info gathering first? Because that might influence whether or not Caius joins you.
I guess we should figure out what bounty we're doing first. 'Cause there's 3.
Mm-hmm.
I feel.
I will say, I understand that it might feel like one or more of these could be time sensitive. They're not.
Okay.
Nice.
You can absolutely characterize that you feel like one of them would be more time sensitive than the other. That is definitely fair. But for my purposes, the only sort of trigger that needs to be met for you to just fail the quests by not doing them, realistically, is like the caravan leaves. Like that would be it's sort of like the end of your time in Zalam. Functionally, is the fail condition. So you've got like a week and a half almost to do these quests, which is more than enough time.
Okay. How much gold does Lumia need to get her thing?
800.
800 more?
Yep.
Wait, then what I have?
Well, 800 total gold is what they need. I don't
It's
know
like,
how
holy
much.
shit, bro.
No idea how much gold you have. I ain't keeping track.
Valid.
800 more than 0.
Yes.
There you go.
Which, as you look into your coin purse, Lumia, you've got 0 gold.
Imagine getting robbed. That
Imagine
laugh, dude.
getting robbed.
He leaned so far back for that one.
As Harvey is like stowing a coin purse, going like, I didn't do it.
Kicks him to death.
So like how far away are you,
Me?
Lumia?
I mean, I have 1 platinum piece and 337 gold. So we'll get there. If we do all of these, I will be there before we leave this town. I'm confident.
Right.
So don't worry about me.
Well, because my suggestion was going to be the bandit one, unless you were close enough that the necrobloom would just get you there, and then you'd have what you needed for the bandits.
It is important to note that this is listing the total amount of gold that the whole party will receive.
So it would be split.
So you get 250 total gold, which you could split 5 ways to 50 gold a person.
It ain't about the money for me.
I mean, so I will say, this is probably a very opportune moment for me to mention many adventuring parties do pool gold in order to acquire individual purchases, where basically the party's like, okay, if we keep splitting our gold 5 ways, that is splitting the amount of money we're actually earning by, I'm only getting 20% of what I worked for. That's crazy. So what if we all dedicated, like, okay, these first couple of missions are going to be dedicated to getting me something, and then the next couple of missions will be dedicated to getting you something, and so on and so forth. Many parties do end up doing that just to, like, save time, but it is also, there is like an element of you have to trust your party, because there's a chance that a party member could be like, oh yeah, let's dedicate 800 gold to getting my armor inlaid with mithril, and then you wake up the next day and that party member's gone.
Oh,
Right.
I don't think
I
we
highly
would.
doubt Lumia would do that, but it would be so fucking funny if they did.
It'd be so
Thanks,
funny.
guys. Peace.
Oh God.
I mean, I'm open to doing that.
I'm open for doing that
I
for
don't-
this, especially something this
Mhm.
good this early. That would give you how much armor class, and
Oh, crazy
and you would still
high.
have your enchantment on it, right?
So the armor on its own is 18. The enchantment gives +1 to bring it up to 19, and then they also wield a shield, which brings their armor class naturally to 21.
And I'm
Uh,
meaning like you'd still have Zarathriel. Is that his name?
Yeah,
Zarathrian.
Zarathriel's not good. Zarathrian.
Zarathrian.
He's not going anywhere.
It's never ending. You got it. Celestial names don't end in N.
He's not a celestial.
Oh,
He's a dragonborn.
he looks like celestial.
He looks like a
He's
dragonborn.
like gold.
Yeah, he's a gold dragonborn. He's a full.
I mean,
he's a
he's like
spirit. He's a golden
sexual.
spirit. He's a dead guy.
Aw.
He's a dead person. What do you mean? Oh, he's
He's
a
a
celestial.
dead
No,
guy.
he's a fucking ghost. He's a
Damn, you
ghost.
really
who is-
gotta do him like that?
Oh my fucking god. This is a deceased knight who's like, even in death I still serve, and then he shows up and you go like, yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
it
celestial.
seems
He goes like, no. Nuh-uh.
Okay.
So, like, I think our original question was, where the fuck are we going? And what are we
Oh,
asking
that's very
about?
fair.
I'm pretty
That's
sure
very
the
fair.
dive bar.
Do you guys want to go to the dive bar? There's a lot of different places you can go, and I will admit to you,
It's up to y'all.
I have specific locations where you will learn information, and other locations you just won't.
Okay.
So you guys could just start like kind of fanning the hammer and split up and try and get information in multiple different places. Also, just as a note, because this is important, there's the Church of Suo and the Temple of the Host are both religious locations here that you guys could potentially go to try to learn something from the clergy there. We got the Carpenter and the Jeweler, Bodirk's Carpentry and Trinkets and Baubles. Then you've got the Courthouse, which is actually where the Steward is. So if you wanted to go talk to Gonar Kirtuli,
Steward?
who's the guy who, yeah, the Steward, he put.
No,
I'm destroying you. He put the bandit quest up on the board.
And it's
Probably gonna talk
Stewart.
to him
Oh, yeah.
first.
I want to talk to the steward.
All right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What do you think,
guys want to
Caius?
go and talk to the Steward?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
And that
It's cool. You guys head to the courthouse. The courthouse is similarly a sort of like there's a cobbled sort of stone that serves as the foundation of this building to sort of embed it in the ground. And then the building itself is a wooden courthouse. It is not like a fanciful sort of deal. It looks like, from what you can tell about this town, it very much so is function over form. With the circumstances surrounding this place, it is hard to get function in a swamp. So they're doing what they can, but this place looks like it's pretty sturdy. You can just enter into the courthouse. There's several rooms that are aside from the court, the actual, place where they do hearings and whatnot. But as you enter in, you actually do hear what sounds like the fall of a gavel on the inside. Where you step inside, there's this sort of entranceway. It looks like there's a staircase that leads up to another floor, and then there's a room off to the left side. There's a pair of big double doors that are only very slightly ajar, which is where you hear the fall of the gavel from. You can hear some muffled speech. It sounds like there's people in there. It might be a court proceeding going on.
immediately at the sound of the gavel, Caius like squares up.
Yeah, everyone else sees Caius put his dukes up, get ready.
He does that thing with where the baby is going.
Baby!
What?
What?
There's a video of a baby
Oh,
being
yeah.
fucked with. A video of a baby being fucked with by their dad or something, and then
Jesus,
the baby
oh,
looks like
shit.
they just get annoyed and they just put their fist up. And then the dad goes like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry."
That's hilarious.
That's Caius.
Oh my god, dude. Oh.
Caius puts his dukes up. He's like, "Oh shit, my bad, guys."
Oh. So where's this steward guy? Is his name Stewart? No, he is a steward. Never mind.
Stuart the steward.
It better not be.
He's like a Pokemon.
A bolt of lightning comes through the ceiling.
Oh my god!
Yeah. I mean, you can hear the court proceeding going on there. You know, there's an office to your left. There's a staircase that leads up. There's
What's
no one
the
here.
court proceeding about?
You have no idea. You're not in there.
Caius is like
Can I
inching
listen?
towards that.
Yeah, if you guys want to go into the courtroom, you're more than welcome to.
No, I don't want to. I just want to listen at the door.
Okay, you come out to the door. The door's cracked open just a little bit, so like once you get
Can I-
close enough to the door, you can actually
hear?
hear. Yeah, you can hear. You hear what sounds like this very stern voice that's having a conversation with another person. It sounds very much so. There is a court proceeding that is actually going on here, and you can hear that this very stern voice is effectively asking, like, how do you plead in the case for your innocence, as you have been tried and accused of being a bandit in these parts? You don't hear a response. You can sort of hear that the person on the stand sort of attempts to get the defense to speak up. There's no response. And it is a very brief court case. You can hear the sort of fall of the gavel once more as what you come to know as Goner Kirtuli is the one who is attending to the court hearing. Sets the gavel down, goes like, put him in the stockade. He does not belong in my courtroom. He is obviously guilty. He's not even putting up a defense. And you can
Not the
see
stockade.
but
we
you
need
can
to talk to this guy.
you can hear a set
Yeah.
of manacles, the sort of chains that are rattling as there is someone being marched in your
Question.
direction. Yeah,
Oh,
what's
I was
up?
about to say, is the
To the
door
side.
open,
Nope.
or are they coming this way?
Should
They're
we
coming
step
this way.
back?
Yep.
Caius opens the door.
You open the door, you actually see it looks like there is a human man that is it looks like there's a human that is chained up with another human that is behind him holding the sort of chains, that seems a little startled by the fact that you've opened the door, but then gives you sort of like a curt acknowledgement with a nod, and marches out of the courthouse
Wait,
to the
was-
stockade.
Was that the bandit nodded at me?
No, the person holding the bandit nodded
Oh.
at you.
What the bandit look like?
I was gonna ask that too.
Dirty guy, mohawk, not maybe bandana,
What's his demeanor look like?
scrundly.
No, like, what? Does he look like he's given up?
No, it looks like he actually does have a distinct amount of defiance in himself. Where that's part of why the court hearing was so brief, is because as he's like being sort of escorted out by who you can only assume to be like the marshal of the town, he's like struggling slightly. The marshal actually has to give him a good wallop over the top of the head to make sure that he stops as they march him towards the stockade.
Can we stop him and ask him a few questions?
We should
Do
maybe
you
wait
attempt-
till he's there. They're trying
You
to
would-
like.
Maybe
Yeah, I mean, if you want to
maybe-
attempt to stop the
Look,
marshal, you absolutely can.
We
Like
can probably.
Caius is like staring that bandit down because he wants information.
I'm gonna back away.
Yeah, I passed out.
The bandit stares at you guys, at all of you, and kind of like gives you all some sort of sneer as he walks past. It looks like he's rip-raring, ready to go. He wants to start a fight as much as he can. The marshal is keeping him in check, however, as he sort of like looks towards you, Caius, gauges you pretty accurately as like the easiest mark for him to try and go for. Looks like he's about ready to hock a loogie at your feet, and immediately is like the backs of his knees are kicked by the marshal. He lands face first on the ground. The marshal literally picks him up and then puts him back on his feet and sort of like leans in and goes like, don't fucking do that again, all right? To the stockade, straight line, let's go. Marches out of the room with him.
Caius is like dead, like staring like death into his eyes.
You see the marshal kind of turns around towards you and goes like, I'm sorry for him. And then
You're not. Don't be sorry yet. Don't worry. I haven't done anything to him yet.
he kind of like gives you sort of like a okay, yeah, and looks sort of like might be seeing him again soon, friend, and then marches out of the courthouse.
Caius turns to the party and like, we need to talk to that bandit.
All right, I agree.
As you say that, there is a dwarven man that is standing in the doorway. It looks like he's got not like a robe like you would imagine a judge to have, but a robe that you would imagine like an adventurer to have, and what looks like this big tome under his arm. Looks up at all of you and goes like, "Why exactly do you need to speak to that bandit? What business do you have with him?"
Caius pulls out the bandit bounty and says, "I'm pretty sure he can lead us straight to
The
them."
band bounty.
If he could, we'd already have gotten the information out of him. He won't talk.
What? How did you guys try to make him talk?
Beating him senseless?
Lumia
looks
looks
up at
over
you.
at Caius like, do you have anything else in your toolkit?
He looks,
what else do you
he looks up at the rest of you guys.
Caius
And
looks
like,
says, "Damn it, this might be harder than it looks."
he
Do
says,
you guys have any like tools or anything that might be able to like help get information out of him?
High charisma
I
and a
could
pretty
get-
face.
I could get information out of him.
Bet.
Oh,
we'll go with.
I have a spell.
I will.
You see that this dwarf kind of looks up to you, Billy, and goes like, "I have seen you around for a little bit. The road wardens, yes?
Yes.
Good. It's good that you found a party. I'm Gunnar Cartuli. I'm the man who set up that bounty.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd like to speak to that bandit, I ask that you do so with either myself or Marshal Tobias present."
Okay.
Good. He sort of clears his throat and then goes, "Are you intending to question him now, or is that a later sort of deal?"
I look to Caius. I'd only be doing it
Well.
whenever he wants.
I would say, but I'm not just gonna go off and try and get it to him now. As much as I would like to, I'm not about to just keep dragging the party around like that. Is there anything else we would like to find out here, or is it we?
I
are
mean,
we
I will say, Caius, you can go and do it with you and Billy can go and take care of it on your own if you wanted to.
I mean, I'm down
Lumia
for.
I would
also might have something.
I'm down for going too. I'll go
Yeah,
with
let's-
everybody. Yeah.
Let's all go. There's just
Yeah, I'm
sad
suspicious
Mogs
because you
isn't
keep trying
here.
to split us up.
I think that there is an acknowledgement that I want to establish. I don't want to start a fight. I don't want you guys to get into a fight. And if you do get into a fight, I think that it's going to be largely narrative. The party being all together means we do get to focus on one thing happening at a time. But that also means that we're not going to get a lot of things done in the session. We're already 2 hours in, and largely what we've managed to do is go shopping, and that's fine. That is fine.
I
But
don't know what Moggs is doing.
yeah, I think that now is a perfectly opportune time for us to go ahead and cut.
Wait,
to,
we should decide first. Are we going to ask him questions now, or are we going to?
I
wait?
think that the cut to Moggs is a great time for you guys to text each other in the chat to
Okay.
figure out what you want to do.
oh bet.
Right.
So Moggs, where are you going? What's going on?
Okay, I have so many questions and prefaces. How long does it take to pull an effect off of a gear into a rune?
An hour.
An hour?
Yeah.
Describe a bit more in detail the secondhand magic item shop, like location-wise, what's around it.
The secondhand steel, the weapon seller.
Was it 2 gnomes that were running it?
The 2 halfling children and
Halfling?
Uthwain. Yeah. Secondhand Steel is a shop that is on one of those sort of like stone pedestals that is below the walkways. But it's on like the main thoroughfare where most of the other shops actually also were. Mira Smithworks is the one exception to that, where that was kind of up in the woodworks a little further away. But it's on what I would say is like a main road. There are buildings to the left and right. There's a building behind it as well. It's a populated area.
Traffic constant all around, or like it was one of them back alley? Or...
As constant as a a town with 2,000 to 3,000 people could be. I mean, it's not going to be like a thoroughfare like a city. It's definitely much more of like every once in a while, handful of people are walking by. I would say that like as far as back alleys go, it's a lot more like wild underbrush around the building. It's a lot less like a back alley and a lot more like I kind of need a machete to get around here.
Okay. Difficult terrain.
Impassable terrain.
Impassable.
Yeah, almost 100% impassable.
Okay.
There's a door that goes out the back of the building, which actually you wouldn't be aware of that unless you scouted it out. But yeah, there's a door that goes out the back of the building, and then there's a door that goes out the front. There's the sort of back area where they have the majority of their actual goods, and then there's the front area where they do their servicing and selling of said goods. The only exception to that are the more mundane weapons, which they have all around the store.
Where were the 2 key items?
The 2 key items, you have no idea. They had the sort of notice of the selling of those items in the front. You did not see the items themselves.
Okay. Got it.
The weapon runes, however, are just behind the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Though those are things that are kind of similar to the potions in Zalam, or not in Zalam, in Henst. They're just kind of like on a shelf behind the counter. The store does have windows that are sort of like, there's a window that leads to the side of the building where that brush is. There's another window that leads to the other side of the building, and then there's a window out the front as well.
1 story, 2 story?
As far as you can tell, 1 story, maybe an attic.
Maybe an attic. Okay.
Definitely a chimney because they have a forge.
Sure. Is there a spot where I would be able to be enough off to the side or obscured that I might be able to get up on the roof?
Yeah, I would say that you could probably get up. Well, so the way that the town works is actually a lot of verticality in the town. So if you wanted to, you could be on one of the sort of overpass wooden pathways and just drop down onto the roof.
Oh, okay.
You might risk like a d6 or maybe 2d6 falling damage, but I'd say that would be it.
So if there's the verticality, then up on the roof, is there a way in?
Aside from the chimney, no.
No? Okay. That doesn't really help then. But in theory, I could maybe get to the back door, but I don't know about it.
I would say that like you can establish like there's probably a back door. You don't know where the back door would lead because there's underbrush all around it. So presumably it would be like a backyard kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I was mildly debating a heist of some sort. For the dagger.
Okay.
I had some concepts in mind. I don't know if it makes sense to just rattle them off to you or.
I'm gonna go ahead and say if you
shop?
have any specific questions that you want to know about the mechanics of how something would work, you can definitely ask me. But I'm going to say a lot of the questions that you're going to ask me are going to be answered with, you'll know when you try.
Mm-hmm.
Like the vast majority of the questions are going to be kind of like, I'm going to prompt for action rather than questioning. Especially something of this nature where it's like you're taking a risk. Part of the risk is that you don't have the information unless you seek it out. So if you wanted to go and seek some information, you can absolutely do that and be like, can I walk into the store and see if I can see where the dagger or the longsword are? Because if you gain that information, something you can lock into the repertoire and then you can enact it in character.
Yeah, so part of it was theoretically casing the joint, spending some time watching the comings and goings and getting a better feel for it.
Yeah, you could probably do that if you went on like the above thoroughfare. You'd have literally a bird's eye view of the store. It would be a little strange because you'd be on like what is functionally a 10-foot wide narrow pathway that will have a lot of thoroughfare up there, and you would just be staring down at a building. So there is a chance you could be clocked by the guards and they'd be like, hey, what are you doing? But that is an option. Alternatively, you could walk back and forth on the street. You could do one of those.
Okay. For amounts that I wouldn't know that if they don't have them displayed, then casing would not be catching it from the outside.
Yeah, presumably wherever it is that they have them is probably like a lockbox or a safe thing. Like of items of that much value, they're definitely like, it would be nice to put them on display, but they also live in a place that is somewhat lawless. It seems like they understand that. Of course, with the exception being the weapon runes, but it seems like at the very least, secondhand steel is well off enough to where if a couple of weapon runes were to be stolen, it wouldn't be the end of the world. It would be like, that sucks, that's a lot of money, but we can rebuild from that. The things like the Acheron Blade or the Dagger of Venom, presumably, assuming that they purchased them for like the flat amount and no one haggled them up, they spent 1,500 gold to purchase each of those. So that's a $3,000 investment for those two items alone. Which, as you guys know, at your level, that's a crazy high amount of gold.
It really is.
Yeah, it is.
My God.
Being a shopkeep has its benefits. You do end up getting a lot of money. It's a lot more like this is an investment of money, where maybe they made enough sales to be able to purchase the item, or maybe they made a sort of like a bartering trade.
Let's open a store.
New campaign. Open a store. Honestly, it sounds sick.
Is this like a shop/home or pure shop?
It's like a shop/home. The way that it's built is very obviously like this is supposed to be a house. They have refurbished it to function as a shop. You don't know what the story is there. It looks like the place it is in is a place that is largely a commercial district, but a lot of the buildings share a similar kind of vibe where it's like, this was intended as a home. It could definitely still serve as a home. As far as you saw, the majority of the building was the storefront and like forge and craft area, but there was enough of a chunk that could have been like a bedroom.
Okay. For now, Moggs is going to go back to the the inn that we're at, and take an 8-hour rest.
Okay. Cool beats. Actually, I am going to go ahead and give a little DM fiat to this. It is not possible to take an 8-hour rest unless you've been up for a minimum of, I'll say, 16 hours. Taking an 8-hour rest in the middle of the day is not going to infer additional benefits. The reason for that is to prevent this exact thing. You're in the middle of a day. And I know that it's like, I'll just be able to do that at the end of the day anyways. That's definitely true. But this is just something
What do you try to do by taking the rest?
re-prepare spells.
Yes.
I'm going to say you'll have to wait until the next day.
Yeah.
So I will have to have them for the entire day next day if I want to use them at night.
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and explain my reasoning for why it is that I'm doing this. If I do it once, I'm going to have to allow it again in the future. I have had parties try to take full 8-hour rests in the middle of a dungeon an hour after they did another 8-hour rest, where they would just stack 8-hour rest on 8-hour rest on 8-hour rest, because it is a full heal. You get every spell back. It is a full heal. I have to be very strict about this. You can take another 8-hour rest when it is nighttime.
So we've been doing 8-hour rests, but we've been doing shifts where one person was up for 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually 6 hours of sleep.
It still needs to be 8 total hours.
8 total.
I understand it's 6 hours of sleep, but it's 8 hours of rest.
Can I start mine a little earlier in the night so I can get up earlier in the morning?
Sure. I'll absolutely
Okay.
allow that.
All right.
You let me know when you want for Moggs to kind of bed down for the day. If you want to do it something like 8 o'clock so you can be up at 4 a.m. and then like do the heist then, is that kind of like...
Something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would work for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Sorry. I know it sounded weird when I put it out there the first time. It's like, I feel like there's an explanation that needs to be given, because otherwise this just feels like an arbitrary restriction for no reason. Yeah, I've had parties be shitters in the middle of dungeons with long rest where it's like, hey, what if we just put up a Leoman's tiny hut? It lasts for 8 hours, and I'm like, fuck, I can't stop you from doing that. So I had to put in a rule. I had to put in a rule where it's like 1 long rest a day.
Do you want to know my current plan ahead of time, or do you want to walk through it when we get there?
It would probably be helpful for you to DM it to me, just so that I'm aware of like, if you're gonna do something like break into the back door or you know, drop down from above or something like that, like I know what I need to be prepared to describe at the very least. And if there's something that is already set in place that might cause a roadblock for you, that I know to expect to use that, or if there's nothing there, to congratulate you when you steal the items. Yeah, just go ahead and DM it to me, and I'll take a look at it when we cut back. It might. So we're 2 hours.
Is this one of the 3,000 gold items?
Yes.
Oh my god!
We are 2 hours into the session. I think this would be
Imagine.
a good opportunity for us to take a little break. So I know that all we really did was establish like a bunch of questions and sort of clarifying things for Moggs. I'm going to go ahead and spend at least a brief moment cutting back to Moggs. Is there anywhere in particular that you will go after you've spent maybe a little bit casing the place, or do you want to spend the rest of your time before meeting back up with the party casing? Like how long, what's the metric of what you want to do?
Be long enough that she's got kind of a good feel of like, do they come and go a lot, understanding them, and I suppose if there appears to be any amount of like regular guard patrol.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have you roll your choice of a perception or an insight check, whichever you feel is going to benefit you the most. They'll give you the same information.
Yep.
And then I'll also have you make a stealth check. If you don't want to do this, you're more than welcome not to. But a low roll on the stealth check will have detrimental consequences as you case the joint for longer than expected and potentially get, you know, you potentially get like scoped out by the cops.
Can Webby assist?
With the stealth check, Webby has to make a stealth check also.
Okay.
So I will say no.
Can you help with the perception?
Sure. I'll let Webby help with the perception or insight, whichever you choose.
Or insight, yeah. Okay, so to clarify, I am being required to make both of them, or there is a choice on whether or not to make the stealth, but it changes something?
You must make either
Both?
perception or insight, and you must make 2 stealth checks, one for you, one for Webby.
Okay. Alright, so we'll do perception with the assist.
Yep.
So that's
So you got
advantage, right?
Yeah. Okay, so 12 plus
6, so 18.
18, very solid. That's going to get you the information that you need. Now let's see if there are consequences.
Okay, stealth check for myself. Yeah, okay, I'll take it as is, because I was going to say, if I was trying to be sneaky, I probably would have taken my armor off, but I didn't say that ahead of time, and we're already here, so...
No, I'll say you can take your armor off. It's fine. I know we didn't say it ahead of time, but that's okay.
So for me...
You're in a
Aiding and
settlement.
abetting.
15.
15, okay.
And for Webby, I don't think she has any specific bonus to it. Athletics.
And whatever her bonus to Dex is, she doesn't have proficiency.
So then, alright, just a +1.
Okay.
Also 15.
The DC was 15. Yeah, you're fine. You managed to case the joint. You gauge. What was your perception? Was like 18? Yeah, 18.
I think it was.
You do not see anyone in the store leave the store until later in the day when they close up shop. The people that you see leave is you see Uthwain, Tilly, and Tally. All three of them leave. Uthwain escorts Tilly and Tally to somewhere and then returns to the store and then locks it from the inside. He lives there. It looks like Tilly and Tally are, younger individuals working there. He's taking them back to, wherever it is that they live, so that way there's no stuff that they encounter on the way there. And then he returns to the store in order to actually sleep. During that time, that's maybe like a 5-minute span of time. They do not live very far. You would have a very limited time if you decided to, use that opportunity to go in. When he leaves, he does lock the front door. And then when he comes back, he unlocks it, steps back inside, and locks the door again. The guard activity is definitely like more dense during the day than it is at night. It looks like the guard activity is very cursory. Maybe once every 20 or 30 minutes, there's a guard that passes within like eye shot of this place where they can see it. So you'll have a rotation of, I'll go ahead and say like at night about 30 minutes and during the day about 20 minutes.
Are they like on clockwork kind of thing?
Yeah, they have a patrol path that they are supposed to walk down, that they're supposed to like keep an eye on stuff. It's literally just like guard this area, and then they get into a rhythm. They're like, okay, I'll just walk around this area, see if there's anything to do. And it looks like it is like a pretty perpetual kind of deal. It is a pretty constant thing, especially in the commercial area. Like the commercial area is the place where the guards are the most present because of the fact that there's the most to be taken or broken into, or even like the most to be fought over. Like if someone were to walk into Pink Health Alchemy Goods and just drink the potion of fire breath, like, oh, that's going to cause a problem. So that's kind of what you gauge from your stakeout. It doesn't take you all together too long. I know that we said that you also gain some information of the evening time, but it does not have to last into the evening time if you do not want it to. So it's beamed into your brain. There you go.
Got it.
Cool. And then from there, do you want to head back to the party, or do you want to...
I don't know where they went, so I'm going back to the inn.
Okay, cool. If that's the case, we're going to return back to the party. Where did you guys conclude your discussion in affirmation of going to? Where do you want to head to first?
Shit.
I think the stockade, right? We're gonna do the stockade thing.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine with me.
Cool. Okay. So you guys head to the stockade. You were still in the presence of Gonar Cthulhu, and he does basically say, like, do you know where the stockade actually is?
No.
Okay. I'll take you there. I assume you're going to want to speak to that bandit, correct?
Yes.
Good. Allow Tobias and I to participate, if you will. And you see that he takes you to the stockade. It is not very far away. It is honestly like the building that is next door. It looks like a very sort of rudimentary brick building. There is a sort of gate that surrounds the actual exterior of the building. The gate is relatively high. It's got some spikes on the top of the gates. There is at least one guard that is at the actual sort of like door for this fence that goes around, and he opens the gate for you guys to come in. You show your road warden badges, and Gonar also kind of like says they're here to speak with the bandit. And then you are allowed entry. You enter into this place, and the first thing that you notice is there are no windows. The only windows that are actually, the only, like, presence of the outdoors that are actually here is a like little hole at the top of one of the roof is like a little triangle, and at the top of the triangle there's like a little hole window that has no glass or anything in it, just to let air in and let air out. And everything else is fully lit by lantern light or torch light, and there are a bunch of metal sort of like metal grates that are covering a couple of rooms here. They maybe have the capacity for 10 people if they had one person per room. They currently have 2 of these rooms actually occupied. One of them looks like maybe a drunkard who got a little too rowdy at Nart and Sons, and it has to sleep off, you know, his stupor. Yeah, he has to sleep it off, and he got arrested because of the fact that he was getting a little too rowdy. And the other one is the bandit. They are separate enough to where you're not going to disturb the sleeping drunk guy. But you see that at the front of this place, where there is a table and a couple of chairs in a small room, you can see the marshal who you had recently, you know, seen escorting the bandit out is currently playing cards with a couple of guards. And he sees Gunnar Curtuli enter, immediately sets down his hand, stands up, and says, "Steward, I hadn't expected you so soon. What brings you? Are you coming to interrogate the prisoners with the road wardens?" And you see Gunnar looks up at him and just nods, and the marshal sort of like looks to all of you, particularly to Caius because you had like spoken with him before, and sort of like makes a brief salute and says, "I'm Marshal Tobias. It's a pleasure to meet you. If you can get anything out of him, we'll be very grateful, as obviously that might give us the location of these bandits and allow the bounty to be easier to collect." I see that he sort of starts walking down the hall, leading you guys to the grate that has the bandit behind it. He is not in manacles behind this grate, but the room itself is small. It is maybe 5 foot by 7 feet. There's a wooden bench on the back wall, and that's about it. He looks like he's laying down on the bench and sees that you guys have like come in front of this grate, and he immediately sits up and is taking an interest. You get a good look at him now. He's got raggedy clothing. It looks like he's got a sort of red bandana around his forehead. He looks kind of dirty. I'd like for everyone to make a perception or survival check as you get a good look at him here.
Morning, guide me.
Let's see. I think I'll do.
What do I have?
Oh, both of those are the same, so let's find out.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
My God, dude. Damn.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
We had some fat. Oh.
Damn.
What the fuck? We don't do shit.
Hey, you know what?
I got a 24.
You got a nat 20.
All right. So,
And
Harvey,
so
I
did
saw you
Harvey.
roll 2 dice. Remind me what's letting you get advantage on this, or disadvantage?
Kenku recall.
Okay, so you're using one of those?
Kenku recall for perception.
Cool. Okay. So, Moggs, what's your total? Well, Moggs isn't here. Never mind. Harvey, what's your total? I know you got a natural 20.
22.
22, beautiful. Caius, what's your total?
I got a 12.
Cool. Lumia, what'd you get?
24, not 20!
Nat 20. And then Billy, what'd you get?
5.
Okay, Billy, this guy's stinky. Lumia and Harvey, this guy smells like salt water.
Oh.
Very distinctly. You get the smell of like ocean water off of him, like someone who's been either on the docks or on a ship or something of that nature. It is very pungent. It's not. It's pungent in the way that he kind of reeks, and that smell manages to cut through the rest of it, and you manage to pick it up. The rest of you are like, wow, this guy stinks. And you're totally right, he does. But, you know, the other two, you guys are actually managing to be able to be like, yeah, he does. He smells like salt water, like fish.
I was about to say, is it possible, like, we can't, like, I know Harvey already got this, but, like, since we both came over here by boat, would this be familiar?
Yeah, I would say, especially, you know, Harvey, you can relay that to Caius to be like, yeah, this guy kind of smells like, you know, what we dealt with on the way here. And Caius, it kind of clocks at that moment. And all four of you have that information to do with as you please, but he kind of leans forward, doesn't say anything, and just kind of looks up at you guys. And you see that Goner sort of crosses his arms and steps back and gestures for Marshal Tobias to step back as well, and kind of just like looks to the rest of you, and Goner goes, well, if you're going to make him talk, now would be the time.
Right.
Food?
I'm going to just get up to the. He's behind the bar, so I'm going to go to the bar. Like, we're going to need you to let us know where the location of your hideout is.
All right, I can show you where the location of my hideout is if you want.
What do you mean?
He stands up, turns around, and drops his pants and moons you.
Can I roll intimidation?
He shakes his butt. Yes, you can make an intimidation check.
I let out an untoward giggle and then cover my mouth.
Not very mindful.
Pause. Wait.
Not very demure.
Very demure.
Caius looks at Lumio as she giggles. Do you both giggle?
I laugh a little.
I don't get this humor, but okay.
Okay.
That's so funny.
Let me
got
look up
Chloe.
You can
suggestion
use
real
strength
quick.
instead of charisma for your intimidation check.
Yes.
Oh, can I give you
Shake the
guidance?
bars.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Shit.
You're gonna need it. Oh god.
Get guidance. I don't think it's gonna help you,
right
buddy.
The Tabaxi threw you off your game.
It really did,
Oh
dude.
no.
Never
Like,
been the same.
I've rolled nothing. Look.
Well, roll a d4 and add that to it, and then tell me what your bonus is.
Oh, man. Hang on.
That's a d6.
It is.
All right. Also, we can't damage him if I want to do my
Yeah.
thing.
So that's a total of 7, and then whatever your bonus is to intimidation, using strength instead of charisma. Do you have proficiency in intimidation?
I do.
So that's +2, so that would bring this from a 7 to a 9. And then what's your strength?
It'll be +4 as well, so
+4,
+6
so an additional
altogether.
4. So bring it up to 13.
So 13.
Okay. You see that you see that he he hears you say, like, you're going to need to tell us the location of the rest of the bandits. He moons you and then immediately pulls up his pants, turns around, and sees that you are mean mugging him something fierce, and then he goes like, "Eesh, that's a bad look, friend. You should fix up your face there."
Eyes goes into a rage.
Oh
God.
no. Can we attempt to persuade him? Can we do a persuasion check before we start whipping out spells and Caius rips the bars apart and kills this man?
If you tell me what you want to try to persuade him with, I will let you make a persuasion check. But I'll say that you'll have to tell me what you're trying to do.
What do you mean by that?
Before. So like, if it's not compelling enough for him, if what you're trying to persuade him with is not compelling enough for him, I won't let you make the roll. If you're basically being like, I'll give you a big hug, it's like, no, he's not going to accept it. But if you do something like, we'll give you money, we'll let you free, something of that nature, like, yeah, you can absolutely make a check. Depending on what you're willing to do or what, the marshal and the steward will let you do. Because if you say, we'll let you free, the marshal and the steward are gonna give you looks like you got 3 heads and be like, no, the fuck we won't.
Valid. Okay. Good to know. Sorry.
So
Caius, you're raging?
Yes, he's not doing anything, but he did just let it flare out. His hair is just on fire
Well,
now.
what happened to your hair? Are you okay? Do you need some water? Steward, this man's on fire. He needs some water.
I would like to grapple this man.
He's at the back of the wall. You can't reach him.
Yeah.
I would like to. You know what? They're not gonna let me in. You know what? I'm gonna. And then wait. You know what?
You can do whatever you want to try and do. You tell me.
He's gonna take a
Meetings
step.
didn't work.
Whatever you can afford.
you.
You know what? He's gonna take a moment to take a step back. He's remembering why he's here and why he needs these bandits alive. He's gonna take a step back.
Gonna woo song.
He's just gonna silently step back.
Billy,
Get a
shall we
flashback of his beloved.
step in?
Exactly.
We tried to do it the nice way.
He just remembers year. What year said.
Did you want to ask him before I do my stuff?
I'm unsure of what I can persuade him with. Well, I will ask this. Okay, so what can we give you in exchange for the information that we seek?
Freedom. Earn a bunch of money.
Okay, aside from freedom,
A lot more money.
how
And
much
then
money?
freedom eventually. He looks at the steward and he goes like, how long am I going to be locked up here for? You see that the steward says long enough to extradite you from Erindipidus. And he sort of looks back to you and says like, however many days that is, I want 10 gold for each day.
Oh my Jesus.
And you see that the steward kind of like shakes his head and it's like, that would be thousands easily.
Is there nothing else? Just freedom and way more gold than we have.
Tell you what, if I give you the location of me mates, that's functionally like signing a death warrant. I can't come back there, and if you don't, if all you lot don't take care of them, then I'm a dead man, right? Right, so we establish the stakes. I'm functionally throwing my life away if even one of those gets managed to make it out alive. So it's only fair that I should receive something comparable to that. Meaning my freedom. I'm aiding and abetting the enemies of my friends. It's only fair that I'd be welcome into society with open arms. I'm cooperating. And some money. You know, to get me on the right path, to make sure that I'm doing my service to society.
So he was just locked up for stealing, right?
He was locked up for being one of the bandits. You don't know what his crimes specifically are, but you know the crimes of the bandits are killing people, stealing from people, and destroying property.
That won't do.
So you don't know what he specifically has done. You can always ask the marshal or the steward.
Yeah, what did this man do? Like, what's he actually in trouble for, outside of just being in bad company?
He attacked a caravan on the outside of town. On the way in, the caravan was attacked, and in the scuffle, he was one of the very few to be knocked unconscious of the bandits that attacked. Eyewitnesses say that he managed to kill 2 people and 1 horse.
Bad.
Yeah, you're gonna rot in here. Anyway, Billy,
Alright.
spell time.
Alright,
No, what? Spell what?
describe for me what you do, Billy.
I want to cast it. I
Okay.
want to cast it subtly.
You want to cast it subtly?
Yeah,
Okay,
with literally using my magic.
cool. Does this look like anything in particular?
I guess she'll just say the command. I mean, I know that it
What do you say?
technically. I mean, Okay, Billy goes. Okay. You can ask him questions now. and the suggestion. Oh god, I have to phrase this like very carefully.
A course of activity limited to 1 or 2 sentences.
Transfer.
And they do get to make a saving throw against it.
Yeah. Okay, I might need some help phrase. I'm not smart. I might need some help phrasing,
Minnie,
huh?
Do you want my suggestion?
Sure.
You must answer any question truthfully, and you must answer any question you are asked.
I just know he's is an answer going to be pulling down his pants and mooning?
Technically.
I don't want that to
It
happen.
sucks because you're like a genie.
Yeah, basically.
Well,
Okay,
Depending on the person that you cast suggestion on, they might be more cooperative, but this guy's a shitter, so yeah, he will totally be like, I'm answering the question.
Okay, how do I avoid that?
Can you
Must
tell him
answer
he
any
has to answer it
question.
verbally?
I am. You could.
And then leave the truth out of it. So that gives you your two statements, and then I can cast Zone of Truth to cover the truth. So we get all three bases.
Okay, I like that. I think I'll go with that. You have to answer. You have to answer, and you have to answer verbally,
Okay, cool.
as to the best of your ability.
So what do you say to him specifically as part of the suggestion?
I don't.
Suggestion
I
has
don't
a
have to.
vocal component. You must tell him what you want him to do.
Subtle spell is no semantic, no verbal.
Okay, then I need you. I'm trying to get Minnie to tell Belle what the suggestion is what I'm trying to do.
Oh, okay.
Tell me the wording
Then
of the suggestion.
I just won't do the stuff then, since we're
No.
not fighting.
You're
there's
hiding
no-
it from him. You are absolutely hiding it
Yeah.
from him. So when you cast suggestion, you must suggest a course of activity. You can't hide that from me, the DM.
Oh, of course not.
So tell me
my
what it
thing
is.
We just said it. And you must answer the questions, our questions, and you must answer them verbally.
Okay, so those are the two.
Does that sound good to everybody? Do you feel?
Yeah.
I think so,
it's
Minnie.
gonna be a wasted spell, and he's gonna
No.
fucking be like,
I think it'll
"Wouldn't
be
you
fine.
like to know?"
I think that totally
it-
gets it.
Okay.
It
You
might-
must
it might
answer the
come down to
questions.
save
You must
is-
answer the questions verbally.
Yeah.
You could probably, contract that into one and just be like, you must answer our questions verbally, and then you'd have your second sentence.
Oh.
That might save the zone of truth, because then you could be like, you must answer our questions verbally. You must answer our questions truthfully.
Okay, I like that.
Maybe even one sentence. You must answer our questions verbally and truthfully.
How long does suggestion last?
8 hours.
Damn.
What the fuck?
It requires concentration.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will do. You must answer our questions verbally. You must answer our questions truthfully. But I want the thing is he could just stay silent is the reason why I wanted to have the addendum of like you must answer our questions.
Yeah,
period.
we must answer them verbally.
Oh, okay.
He can't stay silent. He has to answer them verbally.
Oh, that's true.
Cool. So what is the DC he is trying to meet or beat?
15.
15. Okay.
Oh lordy, here we go.
So he rolled a grand total of 8.
Holy shit.
Let's go.
So you
Okay.
cast the suggestion spell, and because of subtle spell, it looks like you don't do anything.
I guess I could like say it out loud like it's time to answer our questions or something like that.
Sure. I mean, if you
Like
want to,
like Lumia, it's time.
it's time. Okay, Lumia, you hear from Billy. Billy just looks menacingly at this guy and then turns to you and goes like, "It's time."
I'm secretly
Like,
delighted.
Okay. What's it time for?
You can ask us questions now.
Oh yeah. Tell us the location of the bandit
use that
hideout.
truth.
Oh,
shit.
you've
I
already
don't
said
think
they
we
need to tell the truth.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Yeah.
So you say, tell us the location of the hideout.
I ask, what is the location of the bandit hideout? Your bandit hideout.
You see that he goes, Well, it used to be that we were up, away sort of north of Zalon, but now we're actually off the coast. It's really difficult for people to find us off the coast. There's ships that come back and forth, and, we sort of drift with the waves every once in a while because we're on a bunch of abandoned ships that we've cobbled together. It's actually a great deal. Why did I say that? We're off the coast. I can't tell you a specific location because it does move, but it's off the coast to the south. I'm sure if you took a boat there, you could find it.
I'll write everything down, by the way.
It's pretty big. There's a lot of cobbled together ships. What's happening?
He just keeps telling more truth. Caius, do you have any questions?
Caius is like, he doesn't want to say anything.
He's still so angry.
What's wrong, big guy? Have you lost all your spunk? Oh.
Can't damage him.
I will. Wait a minute. I'm not allowed to kill, am I?
No, you're not allowed to damage at all.
Well, I would certainly
I
hope
mean,
you don't kill me.
They said, if I'm remembering correctly, to just bring them back alive. He's not dead. He's already here. He can be here just beat up, right?
If you're asking
he's
me that
unarmed
question, I
and
would
in
prefer
prison.
not to be beat up. I have to tell the truth.
I
It
wouldn't,
turns-
Caius.
You wouldn't. I would.
No, we can't. He won't
Right.
answer our questions.
Oh,
I
it's not
agree
about
with
the
Billy.
questions at this point.
No, like literally the spell.
Oh,
If he is damaged, the
If he's
suggestion
damaged,
spell,
it ends.
yeah, it ends.
well, get your questions out now, and
Let me beat the fuck out of him.
I look to the steward. Is it okay? Please, just.
I wouldn't, Caius. He's already
I
in
would.
here.
Sure, if you see the steward, the steward goes like, "I'm not certain that I want you to bludgeon this man.
Do you think he deserves it?
Most certainly, yes. However, I'm still not certain I want you to bludgeon this man." He sizes you up and he goes like, "I don't know how many punches he would survive."
Fine.
And you see that the guy goes like, "I could survive a lot more than you think I can, sir."
Oh no. Shut
Oh,
up.
is that a challenge?
Absolutely.
What is the? I turn back to the steward. So what would Year say? Tell me what would Year say right now.
You can go and ask her. She's a member of the Road Warden Society.
You know what? I'll ask. Before we leave here.
You see
He's
Tobias?
armed and imprisoned.
You know
You-
what?
you see that the-
I know where he is. I know where he is. I'll
Okay.
come back later.
A
We're just-
Tobias
defenseless man.
has his
Just
hand
work.
up very tentatively. Marshal Tobias has his hand up, and you see that Connor's like, "Marshal, you don't need to raise your hand to speak." And he goes like, "Sorry, sir, there's just a lot of people here. I didn't want to speak out of turn. I would also prefer it if you didn't bludgeon this man to death accidentally.
Fine.
Far be it from me to say he certainly deserves it, but we've already roughed him up once or twice. I think at a certain point he's not going to have any teeth left."
He doesn't need him to live. But
Caius.
I will stop. I will stop.
There's
Also,
no
this
honor.
is more of like a memey funny thing, but Bell, he will answer every question that is said in the room. So I don't know if you've noticed, but every time one
Oh
of
my
you
God.
asks a question, he answers it. Every time one of you asks a question, he does answer truthfully.
Aggressive.
So if like, oh no, Caius, you said like, what would your tag say? Tell me right now. And you see he goes, "I don't know who the fuck she is."
But now, Kai's kind of like, okay, personal aggression aside, what would be the best way to get there?
By boat, almost certainly. That's how we do it. We've got rowboats and like a little dinghy that we use in order to get there. It's just because of the fact that the location changes every time. We actually do have to look for it every once in a while. We've got a signal actually.
What is the signal?
Nah, fuck. The signal is you take a lantern and you flash it 3 times by putting your hand in front of it. And if you receive a 3-signal flash, you know the direction that you're supposed to go in. It only really works at nighttime, as you might imagine.
And I got one more question.
Oh, by all means.
How many of you are there in total?
Well, last time I was there, it was a little bit ago at this point. It was before we moved. And at that point, there were about 25, maybe?
Oh.
Yeah, a lot more than you thought, isn't it, big man?
Oh, it's trust me, it just gives me more targets to hit.
Wow. Shit. All right. Damn. Didn't realize you were cool like that.
Oh my
You're really gonna
god.
fuck shit up, aren't you?
Oh Jesus.
Can it be the opposite as well? Can you guys answer my questions truthfully?
Lumia, do you have any more questions?
I only have one left. That just scrambled my brains.
Since answering questions truthfully is apparently my new favorite hobby, please do ask.
Does your party have any sort of like raiding agenda, or do you know what their next target may be, or are you just randomly terrorizing everyone?
What do you mean raiding agenda? What does that mean?
I don't know. Do you have a target for who you're going to strike next, or do you just catch people that you see out, like the caravan that you were caught at?
Well, that's something the captain knows, isn't it? He's the person who sort of directs us and tells us where to go.
Who's the captain?
Give the DM a moment to go to a random name generator.
I got him.
Dungeons and Dragons, random name generator. Let's go for an elf. How about that?
Oh no.
That's not his name.
It's Dunkery Hoobastank. Let's
Yeah,
go.
Dunkery Hoobastank, let's go!
Mistake?
No, his name is... The name's Tim.
Hell yeah.
His name is
the elf.
fucking Tim. Yeah, his name is Tim.
That guy, Tim. Okay.
And you see, he goes like, well, Captain Tim, he sort of directs us wherever it is we're supposed to go. The last couple of times, it was raiding caravans as they were on the way to Zalom. That was it. There were a lot of caravans that were going towards Swavel, which means business has been booming lately. But, you know, we sort of jumped ship, as it were. Literally.
Anyway. Okay, I think...
You laughed, it was funny! Or was that a pity laugh? No.
Yeah, it was a pity.
No, I didn't want it to be a pity laugh, please.
Sad.
I really don't get what's funny.
Sad to me.
Was you jumping? See, he looks to you, Caius, and goes like, "We're jumping ship." He's like, "Because we're on a boat now. We're jumped to the ship. We like jump ship."
That's
It's
yeah.
funny.
I jump mountains and cliff sides. But
What? No, you fucking don't.
You know what?
I
I
bet-
don't. It's fine. It's whatever.
Right. Listen, I don't know why I've been answering so generously and truthfully at this point, but I do.
I turn to the other people, and I'll say, "Do you need to ask them anything?"
You see that Gonar Kirtuli and Marshal Tobias are kind of like, well, if we would have asked him anything, it would probably have been the questions you're asking.
Already
him
did.
now.
Okay.
You don't have to be a dick about it.
All right, I think that concludes my business here.
You see that Marshal Tobias goes, or not Marshal Tobias, sorry, the bandit goes like, wait. I need to ask this one thing. I promise, it's a real thing. I know I've been fucking with you all. I'm sorry. The real thing. Are you gonna kill them?
No, we're not trying to.
No need to make an insight check. He is genuinely relieved.
Huh.
He sort of leans back and he's like, huh, all right.
Super affectionate about your band of thieves.
I mean,
I'm curious about the captain's motivations.
it's, you know, it's a band of thieves. Yeah, we're thick as thieves. We're literally
Oh.
a band of thieves.
I get it.
Well, hopefully you'll continue to get on once we bring them all back here to you to be in jail.
It'll be like a big slumber party.
What does thick as thieves mean?
I'm
don't
not
know.
really sure. It's just a thing I've heard.
All right, I'm done with this.
All right.
You sure you don't want to ask me any more engaging questions?
Caius is just gonna keep walking.
I don't think so.
Damn.
I keep concentration on suggestion
For
just in
8
case.
fucking hours. Oh my god.
Just in case the other people ask him.
As you guys are leaving, you see that Marshall Goner Kurtuli is
Oh no,
coming
you
with
know what? No. I do ask him one more.
Okay.
Say, why didn't you answer the questions in the courtroom?
Because I didn't want to give up my mates. And, well, if I tried to defend myself for something that I knew I was guilty for, I don't know, it doesn't really feel right. Like, a whole purpose of a legal system is actually to find, you know, the guilt in a person, and if a legal system is like, well, I can attempt to argue my innocence, no, I know I fucking did it. I'm not going to defend myself.
Alright, I turn back to Goner. Sorry, I didn't want to interject too much.
And Goner goes like, no, by all means. And he walks out with you guys, and as you're leaving, you hear Marshal Tobias kind of like look towards the bandit in the grates and be like, why do you have to be such a dick? And you see that the bandit inside goes like, because my father didn't love me.
Oh my.
And you guys walk out the building.
Oh no.
My father loved me very much.
Well, isn't that good for you? Who do? Yeah, you guys depart the building with the steward in tow, and you see the steward goes, well, I need to process these documents. The extradition process is going to take some time. Is there anything else that I can help you with?
I don't believe so.
Wonderful. If you need me, I'll be in the courthouse. You stay safe, Road Wardens. It was a pleasure to meet you all. And as he starts to walk away, he turns and he goes, actually, on the off chance that I do need your help with anything aside from the bandits, what do I call your party?
Oh, that's a.
Oh no.
I see. You haven't come up with a name.
I
Is it
didn't know
possible
we
that you could come up with a name within the next day or two?
Oh,
Sure.
sure.
I will be eagerly awaiting your title. And you see he turns and goes back to the courthouse.
Oh no, Belle's brought upon us the hammer of
God.
party name.
Yeah.
Yep. Get ready, motherfuckers.
Okay, so we gotta gotta get a couple quests down so funny shit can happen, guys.
Jesus.
Put it on the like what is it called?
The what, huh?
The
Put
notion.
on the notion.
The
Put
notion here.
Put it on the notion board.
On the notion board. Yeah, please figure out a party name, quick.
In big bold letters.
The Pokemon low health
The
beeping
party name
starts.
hammer.
Party name hammer.
I think with that, Caius is like, Caius has had his like fair share of annoyances for the day. He has some hell waiting for him in his room.
It's still like, 2 or 3 p.m. However, it is, at least where I'm at, midnight. And I don't want to keep you guys up for too
I
much
was gonna
longer.
say,
It has
we could
been,
probably
it has
do
been
next
3
day.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time.